Oh my God, you guys said so much stuff before we started even going. And well, it won't be so bad in co-op with GRINN. Okay, I'm not sure what everyone said. But I will say something that I definitely felt. Okay, so those guys do not, let me get through that. Let me, what do you call it? Lone, right at the top of the stream, basically said, GRINN, I tried the game, I got eviscerated. Let me tell you, okay? This is something important that people should know, okay? This game, when you are just starting out and you have no gear, no like special weapons, you have a shitty machine gun and an orbital strike that takes 1,000,000 years to fire off, okay? And you don't really know what to do as well. You kind of like, do I do these objectives? Which ones is worth doing? All this stuff. It's rough. It's made significantly easier when you play in a party. So I feel like overall good advice, just if you want to have, if you're not try hard and if you just want to have a fun time, it's basically, hey, let's play co-op. Play co-op when you're just starting out, grind up co-op a little bit until you can start to get shit that actually makes it so that you're strong and you feel powerful. That way you have like responses to things like, oh, I need a better weapon. I need to call in an orbital strike, and so on and so forth. And then you can do solo. But I went in there being like, I'm gonna do solo because people scare me. Anyways, it was horrible. I completed one mission. It was very easy, and I just felt like, what the hell? And then I didn't even know this was a thing, but I just accidentally had my matchmaking open, and in the middle of me getting like dunked on for the 4th time in a goddamn mission, I was just like, I'm probably gonna load out, like quit out. But then a person joined my team, and then 3 other people joined my team. I was like, holy shit! First of all, can't believe people who are low level still playing. And holy shit, it was so much more fun. It was, I revived my teammates. I got bombarded a couple times. Didn't hate them. Just kind of felt like that was kind of hilarious and moved on. And yes, I think that's just rough. Red says, hey, that minigun is awesome. It might be awesome. Also, ladies and gentlemen, quick TLDR for what we're doing today. Also, hello Raid, hello Fluff, hello Lone, and everybody else. I love you to bits. Hopefully, you are going to lock in because we are going to be doing, trying to do 2 things today. I wanted to play this VR game that looks really cool, today, but I didn't have enough time, so I thought we'd do this one today and do the VR one tomorrow. But the VR game, really cool. Can't wait to show it to you guys. It's a fun survival game that I just hope my PC can run. Yeah. Anyways, but today we are going to try out, knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. We're going to try to play Helldivers, get some progression in there, and also grind out a little bit of Suicide Squad. Possibly. We'll see. We could just be having such a fun time with Helldivers that we're like, let's just stay here. Another thing, what do you call it? I did not progress a lot at all. I'm sorry to say, I just have not had any time this week. It's one of those weird things where I'm trying to get my a plan drawn up to where I can actually like play video games and also make videos and stream. And so I haven't been able to jump in here and get my strategy. I was only able to kind of like dip my toe in and try to understand what the objectives were, so that if I was playing, I would know, okay, this is how this works. This is how you match up a satellite angle while your other teammate presses the button to say it's in the right position. So I get that kind of stuff. I also I have money. I just haven't been buying things because I'm in this weird place of like, I want to wait for the stuff. Like I'm so close, especially when we're playing together. By the way, judge this game by playing with people. Again, I know people saying solo this and that. I genuinely think that maybe, like I said, I think solo would be fun when you have options and things to leverage. When you're going there, I've not to see fucking anyone solo with bog standard 2 things and have a great time. It's like they're like hiding for most of the level. It just looks terrible. Anyways. Yes. Point is, I wanted to play this with people. I feel like this game is so much better when playing with people. It feels like you're actually doing well. Also, again, I may have a biased take because, yeah, we were playing with Fluff and Red, who both are just juiced. Also, I don't know, Red, if you want to get like a Discord room going if you want. I feel like last time we did really well as far as just like not getting too much in each other's way, I think. But yeah, and I can't wait to play some more of this game. I haven't got any of the things. I'm trying to like wait. I wanted to wait to this stream to be like, what is worth getting for the money right now? Because I don't want to buy everything. I just want to buy the ones that are like the best, or good enough for where I'm currently at. Also, I learned that apparently, is it this thing? Maybe it's, no, I think it's this. It's in here. There's basically like a godly gun. Is it this? Yeah, the breaker. People say the breaker is magnifique. It's very strong. Apparently it's meta. But apparently there is, I'm not sure, but I would assume this one is very similar to the breaker, but it's incendiary, meaning it does a little bit less damage, but it also, I think, applies a dot on an enemy. Now, I'm not sure, but I think that sounds crazy, because a lot of times there's so many enemies to be able to like pepper some dots on them, like especially enemies with armor, and I'm not sure, but does that dot punch through the armor sufficiently enough to where it's actually good? I don't know. But what I do know is I can't wait to play with you guys, and we're so far away from the goddamn hug emote, all right? I think it's somewhere up in here, and we're not even, goddamn it, finger guns annoying, and all that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you want to join in on me. Let me catch up. Arrowhead specializes in game the reward experiment and laughed off the chaos from a yeah. Lone says, all right, I hop on and give it another shot. To be honest, I had such a bad time. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have. I know. I trust me, Lone. That's why when I read that, I was like, buddy, I don't think people didn't prepare me for how bad the beginning is. If you're not, especially if you're like me, who's like, I want to do normal because I feel like a bitch if I'm not doing normal. But when you're doing solo, it's like, yeah, you probably should stick to easy, bud, because the game doesn't auto-scale, it seems like, or at least not enough. But yes, judge it after this stream, hopefully. Let me see, social. We have Lone, where are you? Lone, how do I get you in here, bud? I only see red and fluff. Can you send me your I can generate your friend code. That's my friend code, Lone. You type that 6858677, send me a friend request. I think we should be good. Yeah, friend request. Yeah. We'll chill here for a minute. What's good? Raid says, I hope your week was good. It was good, man. I had some stuff Raid where I human beings do extremely poorly when you have a feeling of lack of progression, or lack of direction is also a good way to put it too. And I've had that for about a week straight, and I was like, I'm gonna fix this. And then I read a bunch of the books I used to read on like how to basically set up like a plan for you to hold yourself accountable for doing stuff in a day. So like, make sure you research how to edit this video. Make sure you look into what audience tends to like X, Y, and Z, things like that. Thank you, Lone. And that was helpful. So I've made the plan. Now it's just about me, doing it. I also have a video for you guys. I'm not sure I'll be able to edit the thumbnail in time, hopefully. It's a fun video on the Mind Palace Matters channel that's not quite like a mod review. It's us talking about a really cool thing that I think if you're even just kind of slightly interested in the future of VR, or just that kind of idea, it's a really cool thing that I had to make a video of talking about, even though we're not a news channel specifically on Mind Palace Matters, but I just wanted to talk about it. Also, let me now invite everybody. It's so weird jumping from computers. Okay, we got Lone. He's in the ship. We got Red. He's not here. We got Fluff. He's not here. Okay, we're gonna hold on. Is Lone in the ship with me? Look at my little cadet. I'm a super citizen, which is it's entirely thanks to Red. Entirely thanks to Red, who gave me like the special super version of the game. I do recommend the expendable anti-tank. It's easily overlooked, but it is super low cooldown and can be a lot more. Yeah, no, I've seen a video from Mr. Fruit just popping off with the explosives, like just going, and it seemed pretty wild. Yeah, I guess. What is this? Recoil rifle? Does this allow me to like hold my best friend's hand while he's shooting and like load up the missiles, maybe? Must be. For right now, I think I'll just get this, like Fluff said. It's only 3,000, which actually is not nothing, but hey. Purchase! Bangarang, suggested from Fluff. I trust ye. Look at you, Lone. Looking beautiful. I want the hug emote so fucking bad, it's not even fun. I would actually, no, I wouldn't buy it. I would think about it. I would not buy it. I'm doing good, Lone, doing good. Fluff says devs are working on a balance pass for the rest of the weapons, hopefully bringing primary in line with the breaker. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I also like it when there's a weapon that's just a little dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they make them all good. I hope they don't pull everything down, because I do find it's fun when you have like a weapon that you can tell someone. You can have fun with a lot of builds, But this one weapon is kind of just overclocked in general. Now, it's not great when it's the only weapon that's an option, but I think I'd rather them introduce, like, some sort of thing that, like, a mod or something that you can apply on your armor that would incentivize, like, a massive difference in playstyle. So, like, maybe there's one that makes pistols increase their fire rate, also decrease the reload speed, and maybe even lets you hold 2 pistols. Maybe lets you dual-wield pistols if you want. Like, something like that would make it so that I just want to do that for the sake of doing it, not because it's going to be the most broken thing ever, but it could be if I have the right pistols or whatever it could be, right? Like but that's significantly more complex, so I get why that might be too much. I've been pretty good. I've been just playing some Warframe. You've been obsessed with Warframe a little bit. Star Rail, and also you picked up Helldiver. Let's go! Oh, we can play together eventually. Raid. God damn it! You know what I mean. I read the whole message. Well, all the guns except for Spray and Pray Interactive of the Breaker need some serious love to be actually worth it. Yeah. Fluff says, mind if I host Grin? I seem to have a bit more stable connection. Sure. All right. Can I invite Lone through you, or does Lone need to know your code and then send you a friend request that way? Why can't I? There, Fluff. I can block Fluff. How can I play with, like, go and actually join you? I don't understand. Lone, I might have to kick you because I can't. Well, Fluff, it doesn't even say you're online. Are you perhaps offline, or am I offline? But if I'm offline, how was I able? I think you may have your Steam set to offline, or you may just not be in the game yet. Or I may be set to offline, and somehow Lone was able to get here. I don't know. Oh, I'm offline. It's me. Let me go to this. Friends online. There, for whatever reason, Lone was able to punch on through. If I do this, is it now okay? It is. Okay, good. Yeah. Join squad. Will Lone come with me? Here's hoping. Lone says, speaking of VR channel, wonderful video. What? Speaking of a VR channel, wonderful video, Grin. Not sure if you see my. I have not yet. Which one is it? Oh yeah, the Star Rail one. Yeah. I haven't seen the comments yet. I want to reply to the comments, but I've been trying to do this plan thing, so it's been taking up some time. I can't wait. Again, it was one of the videos where I was like, I think Lone, maybe even Raid would enjoy this one because it's a bunch of cool Star Rail avatars that I'm just like, this is so cool. But I imagine seeing it in like a POV, especially with a gacha game that is just so far away from POV. Star Rail's kind of close, I guess. It's kind of like a third person at times, so maybe not so far away, but yeah. Invite to play. Actually, who should we get? I joined. Hopefully that's right. If I'm in the right one. I see the stream is still not. Yeah, it is still normal latency. It is. As soon as I hit start, I was like Red did mention last time, but it worked out. Also, I don't like the fucking stream quality being shitty. Like especially with how long it took me to finagle with it to get it working, and you helped me as well. And I'm just maybe like the low latency wouldn't. I feel like it would just do some bad shit. It would make the bitrate look all blurry and shit. Recoilless has a team reload mechanic, but can be worn on owner. You just have a slow reload. Oh, okay. I wish I could remove the helmet. I wish I could adjust the head so when I'm aiming down sights, the camera is just a little bit farther away, so that I find sometimes when I'm aiming at something, my character's fucking head is right on top of my crosshair. I hate that. I had to actually change out my cool hat because it's a smaller head thing. So can I get that cool helmet eventually? The one that looks like an actual like a Boba Fett kind of helmet. Raid says, Raid says the autocannon pretty good from what I've seen. Yeah, the autocannon, it seems like one of the good ones. I don't know what the autocannon is in the place of, but it seems crazy. That seems like a thing you almost really need to have really good, what is it called? Really good, not mechanics. Really good solo play. Like something I've seen a lot of people like. One of the things I've seen which I thought was neat was like how you can like farm really well in this game is just by doing extermination missions, and then if 2 people in your party, or even just 1, I think, just chucks down like basically a mortar is what I would refer to it as. It just seems to do really good as far as just doing a lot of heavy lifting. Lone said, Fluff says there's been a lot of leaks for upcoming weapons, stratagems, and mech gameplay. That sounds epic, man. Turns into Titanfall shit. God damn. Fluff says, a lot of which are ported from the first game. I'm really looking forward to the Arc Blaster, Lightning Shotgun, and Plasma Punisher. I have no idea what that one could be. But these shotguns, man, feel really good in the game, even though I'm using a disgusting auto rifle. But it's just because, yeah, it's just good enough to where I feel like, yeah. You up to joining us in voice chat, Grin? We can try it. I've never really done the whole voice thing. Again, if I start to kind of get quieter, that it's just because I what do you call it? Again, I'm constantly, it's weird to balance playing a game, listening to people, and all these weird things. How do I hit yes?
Allied destroyer
there.
Coordinates
Bang.
received.
I thought I already joined. Maybe so we joined a different thing. But yeah, do I join through Discord or what? It also is gonna be a little odd hearing your guys' voices because I have a built-up character in my brain of you just from like talking to you for so many years. So if I hear you and like the voices, well, I don't even know. Yeah, I kind of have a fucking weird voice in my head every time I listen to you guys. So to now have it be like shattered by what you actually sound like, which could be awesome. It is a weird thing where you're like, man, weird. It's almost like change. No one likes change. A lot of which are ported from the first game. I really like, looking forward to the Arc Blaster, right? Fluff says, Grin, I say it again, you're offline on stream. Yeah, we should be good now. Good now though, right? I can see everybody. Lone's just doing little cape waves, cape swishes. Rejoin and accept my invite. It wasn't Honkai Star Rail. It was Honkai Impact 3rd, but I won't complain. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I thought it was Star Rail. I didn't know there was a difference actually. Honkai Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Oh, I guess that makes some sense. Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Shit. Love says it's time to burst that bubble. What's that mean? Burst that bubble. Can create a voice channel on your server, or we can just do a group DM. We could just do group DM, I think. I don't know how that really functions, but we'll see. Let me go to full face cam. You guys are gonna see, I think, unfortunately, my wall, yes, because green screen is not perfect, unfortunately. All right, here we go. All right, am I gonna hear voices? I think in here. I just don't know if how this really works. I don't think I'm talking in there, no. Add red to the group. Fluff has added a channel in the GRINN Divers. How do I join this? I've opened it. I create a group DM. Can create a voice channel on your server, or we can do a group DM. Yeah. So what do I click? I have never had a conversation in Discord with outside my brother, who just phones me basically in the Discord app, and I just answer. Here we go. Am I too loud? Yes, I am. I can hear you. I just heard my voice scream through. Who is who? Let me see. Who's red? You're you. I can't really hear much. Let me try to increase it. I have never used. Yeah. I can see your thing light up every time you talk. Let's see. How would you increase? Oh, Fluff's voice. Fluff's voice is deep. Where do I increase the sound for Discord? Do you guys know? Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. You guys sound so good. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's good. Can you guys hear them? It should be coming through. If I go back to the normal. Yeah, well, I think now it will be.
I don't hear it.
It will be coming through, I think, now. Say some stuff?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Check.
I think you guys are coming through. All right. This is the boys. This is Red and Fluff.
Hello.
Can you guys hear them enough? I could increase it. Let's see. Yeah, it's too bad you can't hear us. So yeah, I think you can now though, right, Lone? Because it should be coming through my whole PC, and everything is picked up on OBS through my whole PC. So you should be hearing the game and them, which is gonna be a little audio fuckery that I have to adjust both, but that should be fine. Hell yeah,
Now
deep
they gotta
voice
focus on
game.
the Terminids.
Are we doing the robots?
No. I mean, that's where our last was, but it looks like we just barely failed the major order. There was like one defense that people couldn't do.
Okay, and that's the whole like progression of the story thing, where like there's trackers and all that stuff, and you can see which one.
I mean, the major orders are like dynamic storytelling, essentially.
I know Fluff sent me a thing. Actually, your guys' voice sound similar enough to where I'm gonna have to hear you guys for a little bit to distinguish who's who.
Do we sound that similar?
No, not now. Maybe it's hard to because I've never heard any of you guys. So like, I think that's Red, right? Who just said, does that sound similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
We definitely talk differently there.
Yeah.
Yep. Vastly different.
That's Red. Okay. So you guys can hear them? Good. Alrighty. Hopefully Lone can get in here one day when he finally joins PC Gang. Eventually.
Initiating FTL jump to
What is this?
the Veld system.
Weird. I don't know. You can have like a. So is every emote kind of reactionable? So you can go up to the person and hit a button and have the emote have an effect, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh
Each
shit.
emote's that way.
FTL jump successful.
That's awesome.
The one I have now is rock, paper, scissors.
Ooh, can I see it?
Locked.
Who wins?
1, 2, 3.
And then you let go? Oh no, you pick.
2, 3. I win.
Damn. That's so cool. I don't know what it's useful for. Maybe you can like, who gets the gun that I dropped? Something like that. Oh. Okay, so it's starting. I still have nothing, like I said. Didn't progress much at all. Forgive me. Let's do this.
What is it? Nominate charger. Medium.
Oh, I didn't know you could put up multiple weapons. That's awesome. You can deploy multiple things. I guess you can only carry one, so it's not that crazy.
See, I think just me and Red have boosters right now. Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say. You guys both look like you guys got the light armor on, optimal.
Mine's medium. It has the perks I want right now.
Yeah, yours looks a little bit leaner. Sorry. Oh no, I did hit ready up. Okay, good. Lone says that's Red. Lol, listening. Listen, boys, I'ma die, but it's fine because I have to learn and accept death. Not for long, Lone. I guarantee you, if we play for a little bit and you actually feel like what it's like to play in a group, should be good to go. Hit ready though. Oh no, it's Fluff and Red. They're already gotcha. Lorraine says, "Oh my God, Grin, wall reveal." Yeah, I know. It's just, it's good enough. You know, when it's not a problem when you're in the actual space, it's fine. But then when you go to full face cam, when you guys see just everyone has that chair that's full of clothes because you can't be fucking bothered to put it in a pantry or whatever. Also, it is hot. Is this just a kill mission, or is it like one of the?
2 chargers.
Oh, okay. So it's like an assassination mission.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Since Sloan's still.
It's a good idea. Also me. It's
Started,
not
I
just
didn't
it's me.
wanna
It's me as well. I
have
am I am in the same camp. Although last time we played, again, Fluff just kept doing orbital. Well, both of you, Fluff and Red, both had these crazy orbital strikes. It seemed like they were just so good. Granted, you weren't on top of them. Granted.
landed on an explosive barrel. That would have been fun.
That's nothing. Stand away from liberty. Sending down support weapon.
Lone says, look at me. I'm the only generic looking one. I look like the NPC. Well, we've all been there, Lone. Also, I'd be right there with you if Ren didn't get me the special version of the game. Also, I don't know if I can call anything else. No, I did not. Also, what do you call it? Raid? Is there any... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say we actually don't have to worry too much about the resupplies because one of us has the booster to provide extra ammo.
Oh, okay. So is that the
Deploy.
perks of the backpack? You just have 4 on you?
It's one of the boosters you can unlock.
Oh, is that the diamond hexagon thing when you deploy in? Ah! What the fuck, Lone? there's damage. Friendly fire, you bastard. I'm sorry. Just Lone.
Cameras.
How is that an accident? How did that happen? No. I was standing still.
Hold up. I'm testing keybinds right now.
Got a sample.
Okay.
We should be good for the moment.
Is the
Also, this is
go
the
ahead, sorry.
level on Creek with the bugs.
It's the what on? It's just a bug creek?
It's the same biome style and lighting as the so-called space robot nom.
What the fuck?
Oh, nice.
Why'd I got bitches on me? What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Okay, apparently there's a patrol.
Let me do reinforcement.
Ow.
Calling in reinforcement. Mag's empty.
Can this become
Here's
automatic?
your stuff.
Yep.
It can. Okay, good. Also, on the map, that like white arrow going up, is that the extraction point?
Sending in an eagle.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but it's currently inactive.
Gotcha, because you have to complete the mission or the objective. Damn.
Correct. I need to go back to the escape pod because I was uploading the data.
Gotcha.
Okay. Fixed it. Now I can swap camera settings.
Is the voice channel in the Discord? No, it's on a thing, which would be interesting. Hearing everyone come in, I do worry that some random person on our Discord, because we have a lot of people ever since the Wonderland days.
Marking location.
It was a bad idea, kind of marketing our Discord through builds. So we have a bunch of random people there. Raid says, also Grin, you could switch to first-person aiming. Yeah, but you can't lock it though yet. I hear a lot of people ask for that, to be able to like lock first-person mode. I know Red loves that, but
Fuck it, technically.
oh, you can? They've added
Yeah,
it?
there is some settings you can remember aim mode per weapon or global. You can have remember weapon functions.
Yeah, I've seen those in the
Switch
options
mode.
too, but I thought people wanted like the actual like so where you're running and you can actually do it. Is that a thing?
Oh no
Yeah.
no full. That's only while aiming.
Yeah. You know, I got that. But it is crazy the difference between aiming and then like hip firing, like how steady your arm is. But I guess you like miss out on a lot of like POV angles. I guess like more screen real estate.
Yeah. You get precision but lack situational awareness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There is a option as well to set it to dynamic. So if you like tap your aim button, it puts you into first person. If you hold it, and then it keeps you third person. over the shoulder.
Okay. Yeah, weird. I find I like the joystick click. I feel like that's just the right amount of control. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not sure if it works that way for. Probably works that way for controllers as well.
That makes sense.
Where's that setting under?
Oh.
Gameplay, dynamic game mode.
Also, Lone, have you still been grinding Suicide Squad? Have you come up with like an amazing build?
Mouse.
Well, it only works with a mouse. Okay.
Yep. It says.
Ooh, there's a
only
horde
works
thing
while
coming.
the aim trigger type is set to hold, and when not using a.
Okay, fair enough.
I was about to say, do we engage everything, or are we trying to be a little stealthy? Is there a reason to? Ooh, I got tapped. Thank you for the resupply.
There, wait. Is Lone acting in game?
Pretty sure not.
Is Lone echoing a game?
Yeah, no one's typing.
Oh, I see.
I have the supply pack. I'm just trying to figure out if the ammo indicator is still buggy or is it accurate.
They haven't patched that, so it's the same as it's been.
Am I screaming in pain? I can't use a healing thing. Weird. Ooh, don't want to go in front of you. Coming out with this. Oh. Oh, what do you call it, Fluff? I did see that video you sent me, the one where it's talking about that MMO for VR. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
I've been watching that, seeing that one for a while. To me, it's not quite like the graphics need to be just a little bit better, but I think it's really cool. I've heard a lot of good things and also weird things. I need to watch the whole video, but I did see what it was, and I was like, oh yeah, that video or that VR game. Is that something that you want to play?
No, I just figured it'd be something you'd be interested in.
Yeah. No, I thought it was cool. Yeah.
I believe they're like going to be reworking the game, and then for those that got the MMO version, will still have access to that, but it'll be like a separate purchase.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of VR games that came out recently, and it's a bad time for everything to be out. So I'll switch this to this. High RPMs.
The blood! Can't stop the blood!
I was gonna say, is it me screaming? Am I screaming? Because I have like a permanent red bar on my health.
You gotta use a med kit to fix it.
I did. It won't let me use it. I'm hitting up on the a D-pad. It won't let me heal. Is it a bug?
I've got you.
Your character's like in a weird bleeding state.
Yeah.
Can't heal you.
When that happens to me, I just use a med kit and it fixes it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm hitting up on the D-pad. It's not going. So I guess I just gotta be screaming for a while.
Hold up. Come here.
There we go. Thank you. That worked. Love tab, all that.
Oh yeah, we can't heal allies unless if you're below 50% anyways.
That makes sense. They're not wasting the stims. Also, Red, what do you call it? How's the mod, by the way? I haven't asked you about an update on that in a while. Is it finished at this point?
Working on it.
Oh, he's still going?
There's
Golly.
There's an addition I needed to do on it, but I'm still adding to it.
And is this person who like is commissioning this, or is this for you at this point, or is this still in conversation with the person who wanted it?
It's still the commission.
Wow. So you just have a Discord conversation with him every now and again, and you can give him updates and such?
Yeah.
Wow.
30 minutes remaining.
I've
Well, I
also
can't wait.
Been helping him and teaching him about how to use Blender and shit.
I'm on it.
The moment the light turns green, you can press the interaction button again.
And cancel it? That makes sense. Sweet.
Not getting a good deal of medals. That's nice. Except for the lower difficulty.
Have you guys been doing the farm, or have you guys been playing normally? Because see a lot of people play. I think it's like the most efficient way is just to do the extermination missions with mortars and then just beat it. But people say it's less fun. So.
I mean, that gets nothing too exciting happening then.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the mortars to kill everything for you.
But you put on a podcast, watch some videos, and then you're at endgame. Sounds kind of nice in some ways.
We did do a bit of the sample farming, but
Ooh.
Oh, I died.
nice slug got you through the target. But yeah, we actually did some of the sample farming another day, but
That one seems a little more hectic because you have to like go and find special places, right? So you're just scanning the map and looking for like kind of little points of interest, and then just picking up the little compounds and stuff around them, right?
yeah, and then super samples only appear on difficulty 7 and above, so it's very dangerous.
I think I had the game set. Sorry, I was gonna say I think I had the game set to like what we were playing with last time, and I jumped into a game. I was like, this is fucking terrible because there's so many of those big enemies just running around. And yeah, rough playing it solo. Ooh. Did load blow you up? Ooh, load also gave me some. Jesus. Oh. Ah. Oh, I don't want to explode you guys.
With the sample farming, you could technically drop in, stealth through, pick up the super samples, and then just wait for the timer to go, and then you extract. But that counts as a fail.
Oh.
And I don't like negatively contributing to the world.
Oh,
so I'm
is
like,
that how they get you?
Doing that.
Oh, that's brutal. Although it's very clever. Also, that's another thing, man. I didn't realize. I heard people say that in passing of like, basically, oh, there's a dynamic storytelling event where like you're playing tug of war. I'm not sure if you remember Fluff back in the day when you were playing For Honor, but it was like a similar thing. But to me, always
they did a similar thing.
Yeah, but I always thought it was like bullshit. It was like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're contributing, but it never really meant anything, and I'd never really seen. At least to me, it seemed like I could have seen how it could have been an illusion, someone who's basically lying and just saying, yeah, the bars are going up, despite, you were pushing it really hard. But in this game, it generally seems like it's tracking the effort, like it. I'm not sure if that's a new advancement that they've made or if it's always been that way. But it's
the first game behaves similarly.
Oh, okay.
They have it where in the first game you just go and do missions and you contribute to the war effort, and then in that one they had it where it's like you can eventually just liberate the planets, and then you just end up defeating each of the enemy factions. So then what they do is like once you've completely wiped out all the other factions, no more missions against those types can occur. You win, and then it resets, and a new war begins.
Oh, okay. And when they update the game, do they add new factions to kind of keep it so there's like consistently new threats or not?
I think they kept it to just 3 factions. So we have 2 of the 3 technically, but all of them are going to be different from the first game because it was an isometric eagle eye view.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I heard people say there's a Helldivers 1, but I've never seen gameplay of it, so I'm not sure if it's similar to this game in the sense that it's like a third-person shooter, or if it was some sort of top-down.
It was a top-down twin-stick shooter style, which was also similar to one of the first games, Magicka.
Oh. Also, what do you call it? Lone says, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, Fluff's probably better off talking to you about this, Lone, but at least to me, my very surface-level understanding is that you open up, if you hit the menu button, so basically the D-pad on the controller will pull up your map, and you have various objectives that you need to go do. Those objectives are like clearing out, and honestly, it's just like go out. I might be not correct on this, but it seems like you just explore the map. So if you see like a little tiny outpost, go and look at that outpost and grab some compounds, grab some ammo and weapons and things like that. But you're mainly going after the main objective, Nah, I guess you're not mainly going after that, but that's how you get the completion of it. But a lot of the progression comes from you doing all the tiny things around the map. And then there's just stuff like if you don't step into people's line of fire because you can get clipped and killed. Don't throw grenades too wildly. If someone calls in an airstrike, stay away from it. It seems like just stay near your team will be a good point of interest of keeping you away from the problems. And if Fluff wants to add, which I'm sure he can, as far as what to do.
you pretty much nailed it.
Yeah. Okay, good. But
As I was saying, like even back with their original game Magicka, it was you were playing a group of up to 4 wizards that cast spells with different like elemental combinations, and various of them kind of have very explosive results where like you try to combine life with death, you just explode because they're conflicting elements.
Yeah, that makes sense. Seems so they were always kind of into this hardcore kind of like you will get punished if you do something incorrectly kind of gameplay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And they designed it because it was like you're kind of slow to aim thing. So if you're casting a spell, your character's going to be moving more slowly. So kind of like having the laser drone, when it starts firing, it starts and then finds a new target. It'll just keep firing, but then turn around, which could result in friendly fire.
Yeah. That's awesome. So everything has like a pretty interesting cost.
Yeah.
This button that does it. Nice.
Arrowhead specializes in co-op games with tons of friendly fire.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole!
Fuck, sometimes those grenades do not hit.
But as well as like, don't feel too bad if you get killed or if you accidentally kill a teammate, as long as you're not doing it intentionally.
Yeah,
not a big deal.
Yeah. Also, it seems like I've not seen a single video that hasn't been a person who's like called in an airstrike and their friend's right on top of them or right underneath it, and they're like, no, please, just move. And by the time you say that, they're dead. They're eviscerated, actually.
Yeah, and I mean it's hard to predict what will happen. Like a lot of it's trial and error.
Yeah. It definitely seems like there are certain things that to me, again, like just staying close near each other. Like what's one of the thing I just seen in a video I watched this morning about the game, where it seemed like the people who were constantly getting team killed were spread out in a really weird way, so that they were like trying to get away from the enemies and throwing a bombs, but then their friend would be also running away from the enemies. So it seems like staying kind of close near each other is a good rule of thumb.
With some exceptions, most of the orbitals will be parallel to your position. So if you're like facing a direction, it'll go left or right.
Oh.
From wherever you're facing when you throw it. But if a teammate's in that radius, then they're going to be at risk of getting killed by it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
But even in the first game, there was like a lot of explosive weapons, and you just really had to be careful of where you're aiming, but intentionally designed to be you're likely to hit your teammates.
Yeah. To me, and that's fun because to me, it punishes you from just like what it seems like. This game is a great answer to what is a constant problem within video games, which is basically them being like, oh, we'll just make that easier for you. We'll just make it so that you can't fail. When this game is like, no, you're gonna. It's pretty easy to fail actually. that way, when you win, it's really rewarding. Ooh. I'm too close.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of this is like we are expendable shock troopers.
I did see a lot of people talk about it. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Even to the point where, by default, the voice you pick is random. So every time you respawn, it's a different person technically.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, they gave me a woman, and I was just like, can I have a dude? But maybe it's like your first respawn you can have some control over, but everything following that is different.
Well, if you can preset it to be whichever voice you want, which is what most of us have done. But then there's those that like the idea of
random, expendable.
Yeah. And then you can set it to random instead.
That makes sense. I was gonna say, Yeah, what do you call it? I hope that seems like the one thing that most people want in this game is customization. That's one thing I think, at least to me, like it seems like it already has a lot of the cool guns. There's a lot of stuff like that, but it's kind of annoying that you can't make your character look the way you want necessarily, as far as like the color palette and stuff like that.
I think Red did some looking through the config files and actually revealed that there's going to be like a camo system eventually.
Ooh.
The first game had upgrades where every weapon, every stratagem, or nearly every weapon and stratagem had like at least 2 upgrades, sometimes up to 4, which could like expand their ammo capacities, add like more damage potential, make it armor piercing instead of whatever it was normally.
Can you explain that to me, Fluff? What do you call it? So my question basically is, so there's stratagems. I've heard people say that a lot. Is there... I need to revive. Is there stratagems for like each sector? So like for me, I don't want to buy a special orbital strike because it seems like you get better ones as you level up. Is that the case? So am I good on holding back, or should I just be buying the stratagems that are in each sector?
Yeah, for the most part, it's probably fine to save right now.
Okay.
Until like you get to like 10 or 15 is when most of the more ideal stratagems show up.
Okay, gotcha. And you were saying that
there's some people that have made videos of like what's worth it and what isn't. Like right now, I would say support weapons tend to be a little more better than getting an orbital strike or an eagle. But then as you get further down, like cluster bomb is good for the eagle, airstrike's good for the eagle, the 110 millimeter for the eagles. A lot of those are better. Nope, I got the other. Huh. Actually renamed it Charger Behemoth.
Oh shit. That's what you were talking about. Oh jeez.
And then for the orbital strikes, I don't use most of them, but there are some decent enough ones. The laser and the rail cannon are pretty good, but of course those are near the end of the
upgrade
for
tree.
both of them. For early unlocks of the orbitals, I would recommend the EMS and the CAS. Both of those are good, especially paired together against the bugs.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see again.
EMS.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
The EMS is non-lethal, but it will stun anything caught within it.
Okay.
And then the gas will just damage them. It's not explosive, but if they're already held in place, then you can drop the gas on them and then slowly kill them.
Oh, it makes sense. So there's like collaboration of things. Can you have the same things in one person, or are you supposed to combine that?
For like orbitals and stuff, that's per player.
Okay, per player, yeah.
The support weapons that have the option of a team reload mechanic are the recoilless, the autocannon, and the spear. There might be a fourth, but those are the main ones I can recall.
Gotcha.
You can technically just wear the backpack yourself, but you will like reload a bit slower, so you kind of have to like get to safety between reloads. What I'm hoping they consider doing is allow people to do team reloads without having to wear the backpack themselves and just reload off of the player with the backpack on.
Oh, that's interesting.
I hope they do that.
Yeah, especially if they already have like the ability for you to like combine reload. You know how like if you have a heavy weapon like a bazooka, you can kind of like feed your person ammo. I feel like that's already kind of in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since they already have the option to like restock their ammo or or to heal them at a health threshold, obviously like they would take priority to heal first, then maybe restock, and then they can team reload. But we'll see if they add that.
Sounds like a good idea. Especially it seems like
otherwise right now it's annoying to require another player to wear your team reload backpack.
Yeah. Also, it seems like the devs are like freakishly listening, or not freakish, but yeah, it seems like they're pretty present in the community. Where it doesn't seem like they're just kind of like, you know, complete silence, which is nice.
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're just running around doing all the side objectives. Ooh, there's a lot coming from the right.
Well, yeah, we just did the second main mission, so now we're looping back around to extract.
Gotcha. Oh, the charger is the thing. Yeah, okay, I seen a video talking about the charger where I thought it was the critical point is his tail, but people were saying that you have to strip his armor on his like legs, and that's his actual critical spot.
Yeah, so the tail is its weak point normally, because it's unarmored, but when you're going up against them otherwise, you want to blow off armor on their legs, and then they go down real fast after that.
Okay.
So if you have the recoilless or the expendable anti-tank, it's like a single shot to the leg will shred the armor. For the railgun, it's 2 shots to the leg. And once that is, you switch to your primary, and it just takes like a short burst, and they'll be dead.
Yeah, because that's what I was hearing people say is basically like you have to strip the armor. But the thing that kind of, I don't know, to me was like, does that mean you have to carry, like in one of your dominant weapons, you have to have something that kind of strips armor? Seems like a lot.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
so you'll, and that's where, like I was saying, the anti-tank is actually a lot better than you would expect, because it has such a short cooldown. You get 2 shots with it, so that means if you aim well, you can take out one leg, weaken it. If another charger shows up, you take out the second, another one's leg.
Yeah.
So actually, most of the bugs are that way. Their leg is actually their primary weak point.
That's a lot of fun.
Because it will slow them down. It makes it harder for them to try to get at you. So if you, for some of the tougher ones, if you shoot off their head, they'll still charge at you like a headless chicken.
Oh, okay.
And still
Yeah,
hit
happened to me
you.
once. Yeah.
But if you take out at least one leg, they start limping, and
Oh, and that
some
slows
of them
them
will
down.
even just bleed out.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Same goes for
I was just gonna
the
say that.
charger.
There's a delay on Discord.
sorry, go
forgive me.
ahead.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, about the pretext of. Red sent me a bunch of videos on the game. One of the videos talked about how there's certain like Terminator-like enemies, whatever that race is called, where like as soon as you blow off their arms, they become basically like significantly less of a threat. But if you let their arms have the chainsaws, I think is what it's on, then it becomes significantly a problem. But it's cool to see that you can like strategically blow off limbs that kind of dismantle the power of the enemy.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Because otherwise, with the robots, the automatons, their main weak point on just about all automatons is their head.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you land like a perfectly precise shot, you can one-shot most of the robots, even the really dangerous ones.
Oh, geez, I know that. Sweet.
But it's often difficult, especially
Yeah.
the higher tier ones have like these really precise, like this is tiny little slot in their face. That's what you have to hit. A lot of the other big heavy units, whether it be the tanks, the towers, the Hulks, they have vents on their back, and
Yeah.
those are your otherwise the weak point, and that's weak to most attacks. So if you don't happen to have like a railgun or some anti-tank equipment ready to go, if you just get around them,
Yeah, I know.
that's how you can
I
take up most of them.
that was what that's what people were saying, that the what is it called, the explosive rifles are pretty good, because apparently like it's like there's certain armored enemies in the robot faction where essentially you can hit them from the front, and if you have splash damage, then you can like kill the pilot, which is basically unarmored. I'm not sure if that's the same thing, but it sounds similar.
That's the Striders, the ones that are in the little walker mechs, because they're very armored from the front. But if you can take out the pilot, they're just gone.
Yeah. Oh, also, what's good, Stefan? Sorry, I didn't say hi. Also, what's good, Crash? Stefan says, Helldivers 2 and Suicide Squad. Yeah, man, that's what we're trying to get after today. Hopefully. I don't think, apparently you guys are telling me that, what do you call it, the Suicide Squad thing, we're basically there, so probably won't be the longest thing, but hopefully we can still do a little bit. Especially now that I got Fluff on Mike, he can maybe explain the end game of like what the heck the actual functionality of things is, because like I still don't understand. Do you get like currency by doing one thing, and then that lets you spend it and do a mission that basically has a high probability of giving you a special weapon? Something like that.
Right. So, I mean, we could probably talk more about it when we switch over to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Also, Lone, how do you feel? Do you feel the surge of liberty, Lone?
Probably still not sure what they're doing.
Yeah, but probably gonna take some time, especially for me. Like, what do you call it? When we first did it? It doesn't. Again, the game's strength is that it's kind of merciless in the sense that it doesn't tell you exactly what to do. It kind of gives you a very surface level understanding.
It starts and is entirely a crash course in
Yeah.
a video game.
Which is why I think Lone is kind of good for it too, because I think everyone in this call has a similar tendency to, when I play a video game and I have any interest in it, I immediately go watch like a bunch of videos on how to play it properly. What is there any sort of like mid-maxing thing just so that you can have more fun in the game you like or interested in, I guess, you know? I lucked out because Red gave me a bunch. I think you gave me some too, when it comes to like how to play, what to do, etc.
Another victory for the right side of
Ooh, how's the day going, Crash? Also, Stefan says, "Kill the Justice League." I did. Yeah, we were gonna play it probably later, Stefan. I really enjoyed the Kill the Justice League. The story, the ending, was not the biggest fan. How do you feel about it, Fluff? Now that I got you on the thing, you can just unload. What do you call it? How do you feel about the story of Kill the Justice League? I think you said it was.
I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was maybe little moments here and there that I didn't like, but for the most part, I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think they handled it as well as they could have. I feel like the theory that there's like clones of the Justice League is very likely, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, if the game even manages to get to that point.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fair to say that like there's some, to me, what do you call it? To me, there seems like there's some parts in the story which I actually think are really charming and fun, but there are also some other parts where I just think they're not so fun and charming. So it's this constant seesawing of like, I like this, that I didn't love, this I like, that I didn't love as well, and it kind of balances itself out to be like we said, the story is good. It's okay.
And I feel like a lot of people that were being negative about it were taking things out of context.
Oh yeah.
It's like without the context, anything sounds terrible.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've never felt more to me, people had such a vested interest in just not wanting a game to be successful at all, you know. And it sucks. Again, I don't mean to like the game developers. Warner Brothers doesn't need any pity. They're making a bunch of money. It's fine. But it is frustrating that, again, I talked about this on stream a lot. But the idea that they always said this was what the game was going to be. It was like a live service game. We've known this for like years. And then the people are like, how dare they make a live service game? And it's like, well, what the fuck, man? If I tell you I love shoes. Shoes are my favorite thing. My dream is to make a pair of shoes. And then I make a pair of shoes. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? I want you to make pants. And I'm like, but I told you for years that this is my whole point. So it drives me nuts a little bit.
And I would say it's like, well, where that's valid as a concern, I guess, but it's also silly for people to complain when it's been stated to be what it was going to be.
You know, like I totally agree with Red's whole shtick on the gaming industry being sick and tired of certain practices and how you shouldn't reward those practices, and 100%. But it's, again, when someone tells you that like this is my whole point of doing this one thing, it just seems like you're crazy. Like, again, it's almost like the idea that the person who has those feelings almost wants everything in the world to be made for them. But that's not the case. There's something made for different people. And if I tell you that you're not the demographic of who this is made for, you should not even care about or play it, and then you get upset because of it, that's crazy. Like, it's not made for you, you know? Also, Fluff, now that I'm here, what do you call it? What should I buy in the stratagem? You said there was another thing that was pretty okay, if I can.
Let me see. I might need to check the stream to see what you have unlocked.
Okay. I have the orbital 12. What's it now? 120 barrier.
A lot of the orbitals are kind of just. I mean, especially the ones called mirages. They're just going to be all over the place in terms of. They're not predictable.
Yeah, messy.
They don't have consistency.
Yeah, problematic.
Airburst would probably be the main one I would say is worth it because it behaves more like a eagle strike.
Okay.
But they're these very staggered. So you can see in the video where it's just like, boom, takes 2 seconds, another boom. So it can be risky for
lets people get
fire.
away. Yeah.
And then otherwise, like The walking barrage is interesting if you have like a lot of enemies coming from a single direction, and then you can just bombard them that way.
Okay, yeah.
But otherwise, I would say orbital laser is good, rail cannon's good, airburst is good. The rest of the barrages are too random to be reliable.
Got it.
So instead, I would recommend from the hangar, the airstrike is good, cluster bomb's good, napalm is good, jump pack is fun as just a mobile backpack option.
What is the hangar? What was
Smoke.
that?
So if you scroll down further,
Okay.
under the orbital cannon section, the hangar is all the Eagle stuff.
At the very bottom, I just see robot workshop, and then I see engineer bay.
So it's just below the orbital section.
Okay. Where would
So-
Handguard. Oh, I see. Okay, orbital. Yeah. Okay, guys. Right below it. That.
All the Eagles. So all of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. The
are
handguard.
pretty good.
Below that. Gotcha.
Yeah. So the airstrike is a pretty good one. In general, it's good at destroying outposts, so it's actually even better against robots.
Yeah. Is
Cluster
it,
bomb doesn't do damage to buildings, but it's good for like dealing with bugs in particular.
Yeah.
Same for the napalm strike is better against bugs. Smoke does no damage, but it's great for like making an escape, or as they give the video example of, lowers the accuracy of robots.
so the eagle.
And then you get into
Sorry, I was gonna say the eagle napalm airstrike. Is that not good for doing quests where like you have a bunch of nests everywhere because it doesn't take out those nests, but it would take out the bugs because it does
it
a dot.
won't. As far as I recall, it doesn't do damage to outposts.
Okay.
But it can mess up like a cluster of bugs, especially
Yeah.
because when they're on fire, it seems to slow them down a little bit, and
Oh.
they'll be taking constant damage.
Sweet. Okay.
So it's more of a crowd control.
Yeah.
A lot of the early Eagle stuff is more about dealing with bugs. The rocket pods and the bomb. The rocket pods, my best use for them is either against a heavy unit, like the Charger, kinda, but it's a little too fast for that, so more so for the robots, or for destroying specific buildings for the robots.
Gotcha.
Whereas the 500 kilogram bomb
Mhm.
is almost purely meant for the bugs.
Mhm.
It's like it's a smaller explosion than the mini nuke that you can get from the the artillery.
Mhm.
But it can do massive damage as they give video examples of. It shows
Yeah, I was about
it
to
that
say
it
if it's
works
anything
against-
like the mini nuke. Jesus.
I once had it where I called it in and it stuck into one of the Bile Titans and then detonated.
Oh, it's sick. I was gonna say,
So it
do we
actually-
have? Is there anything I should get for like the backpacks? I don't think I have a backpack yet. It's worth it.
The ammo pack is always a good option.
What would that backpacks
the-
be under? Supply pack? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the supply pack from engineering.
Gotcha.
That's a really good option for. I think it's down on the D-pad. Will resupply yourself.
Oh, okay.
And then if you interact your players, just like how you can heal people, you can give them a supply.
How do you do that again? What's on the
um,
D-pad for that? Or
I don't use a controller, so I'm not
Gotcha.
sure what
Okay,
the
yeah.
interact
Fair,
button
fair.
is, but
Yeah,
it's the same button as what you would use to
It's
heal
A? Okay.
someone.
gotcha.
Or X, I guess, if you're using a PlayStation controller.
All right, I'll start with that.
Uh,
Oh.
One thing to note about supply packs,
Mm-hmm.
they count as essentially a resupply box from the call-in that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dragons to hell pods.
the nice thing about a supply pack is if you pick it up as, like, if you've got the pack on, you can resupply yourself or others, and it counts as the same as a normal resupply.
Okay.
But if you resupply off of it, not only do you get the resupply effect of getting ammo, stims,
Mhm.
grenades,
Oh,
you
wow.
also fill back in one of the slots on your pack. So, priority, if you have someone with a supply pack, they should be the ones picking up the resupply, unless if they don't need a resupply.
Okay. So wait. So
Because they-
if I have
They
the
get twice
pack.
the benefit. So, like, notice in the video of it, they show, like, the slot empties after he resupplies the ally.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a resupply and then grab one resupply, it will refill that slot. But also give you the ammo, the stims, the grenades as well. So you get twice the benefit if you're using the resupply pack.
So the protocol seems like if I have the backpack, by me picking up the backpack or picking up any ammo in the environment, I restock my backpack, and I'm getting I just passively get all my stims back.
In that regard, like smaller ammo bags don't resupply your supply pack.
Mm-hmm.
Those should be to other people that need ammo, or if you just need like a small amount of ammo.
Yeah.
But if you're calling in the resupply stratagem,
Yeah.
you take priority if you have empty slots in your pack, which is very easy to tell when you got empty slots, because again, you refill that slot and you get the normal resupply.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I basically I top up all of my stuff. If I have the backpack, I pick up the gear. I top up all my stims and all that stuff, and then I also get a ammo pack. So it's best for me to like go give everyone
as a second. So you essentially duplicate it.
Yeah.
Because you get the benefit and you get to then resupply yourself or others with the pack.
Gotcha. So
it's really useful,
mm-hmm.
and we potentially have a 6-slot pack coming in the future.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But the benefit is, if I'm already topped up on my ammo and my health and all that stuff, and my pack is full, there's no benefit because I'm just gonna. Or is there a benefit for me running around, go feeding everybody, and then picking it up? But if I'm already maxed out on my stuff, there's no real
At that
bonus.
point, if we call in a resupply and you have a full pack, resupply everyone else first, then you can go take the packs for yourself.
Gotcha. What if I'm already maxed out on my ammo? Does it matter? Does it matter? Because I wouldn't be getting any more stims.
It will prevent you from picking it up if there's nothing you can get resupplied by.
Okay. Gotcha. So there's okay. Gotcha. May make sense. Got it. Let's do one more mission.
And that's right. And that's if you're missing ammo, stims, grenades, anything else.
That's really powerful.
I also
the fact that you get all
getting the grenade launcher. It is very useful in most cases and can still be useful even into late game.
Okay.
Because the grenade launcher allows you to for one, you can choose different grenades for like crowd control, or for my case, I'm using smoke grenades. So if I pick the grenade launcher, I can still destroy outposts. I can hit groups of enemies very easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a good amount of ammo. And then if you're using the supply pack, you just resupply yourself when you need it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So I don't have enough money to buy the grenade launcher, but does that replace your heavy weapon?
Yeah, that'll be your support weapon.
Okay. Well, when I have money, we can buy it. But that looks good.
And I would say it's even worth it that you could go into a mission with the supply pack, the grenade launcher, and the anti-tank. And only call in the anti-tank when you need like heavy explosive.
I was about to say, it seems like that's the meta of like the anti-tank. You just grab it and then quickly nuke them, like empty as soon as possible, then grab your other heavy that you have, hopefully, something like that.
And then you just switch back to the grenade launcher that you swapped it for.
Makes sense. Oh, thank you. Yep. Also, what do you call it? Lone. I asked a question about it. How does he feel about the game? He says now. Where was it? Lone. Where did you say this, Lone? I feel slightly less frustrated. Good. Hopefully we get that down to no frustration at the end of the stream. Also, there we go. That's why. Also, you're asking about Star Rail. We should have caught more last week.
And to very much clear it up, once you unlock boosters, they are permanent. You just have to pick one to equip.
Okay. What's a good booster?
You cannot overlap. So see the little hexagon button?
Yeah.
The little slot there. That's where your boosters go. You get them through the war bonds.
All right.
And each player can bring one unique booster. So there can't be an overlap. So like for me, I'm bringing the one that makes it so we're fully stocked on ammo, grenades, and stims every time we deploy.
Oh wow,
whether
nice.
We're
yeah.
respawning or starting a mission. One of my favorites to use when other people can cover it is I like the stamina enhancement.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Makes it so our stamina capacity recovery is great, so that's amazing on light, but also really good for everyone else.
Yeah.
There's vitality enhancement, which makes it so we all resist injuries. There's UAV recon, which just boosts our radar, so we can detect detect enemy patrols further on our radars.
I was about to say, so that was a question I had for the map. When you open up your map, you still have to like run around, and then eventually it'll tag something on your map, like hey, this is like a special base or something like that you can like blow up. And
so generally you won't have it on your mini map, but on your compass at the top of the screen, you'll see little question marks.
Oh,
those mark points of interest if you're near enough to them.
Fluff, I didn't even know we had a fucking compass top of our thing.
You might need to. It might be a setting you have to turn on.
Oh,
for
okay.
all I know. But then otherwise, that will mark points of interest, which can be usually it's like the little things where we collect some metals, ammo, samples.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sometimes it's a sub-objective that's not marked on the map, because most times you get one sub-objective marked, or one side mission, I guess, and then there's usually up to 2 others, sometimes more, as far as I know, of other objectives. So it could be like the data upload, it can be the artillery cannon, it can be stalker layers. It depends on the difficulty, of course.
I was gonna say, I did see some like weird things that people would do. I think like later in the game, where you have to basically go up to a satellite, steer it in a direction, and then go hit a button at the terminal. Is that still available when you're doing solo?
Yes.
Damn. So do you have to like memorize?
So
where
when
you
you're
need to
doing
move
it solo, you can see kind of where it needs to be turned.
Yeah.
But usually when you're doing it solo, if you're rotating it, you're near enough to the terminal, you'll hear a beep that will let you know when it's in the correct spot, and it'll do a lower tone when you're away from that direction.
You've been maxed out of this game, Fluff. That's hilarious. That's awesome. That's good to know.
It's tricky, but they built in a lot of stuff. They also make it so it's like your character can relay certain information when you're at a terminal for someone else, so you don't need to use voice chat.
Yeah. That makes sense. So like, it seems like they've if you really want to play solo, not solo, but if you want to play with muted conversation, you seemingly can.
Yep. And then there's the in-game typing for PC players, of course, or if you have a keyboard attachment for PlayStation.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. As I was explaining, I wasn't picking out what I needed.
It's okay.
Let's see. We got ammo pack. Seems like we're all good. I will take probably auto cannon this time, just for the fun of it.
Sweet. I was about to say, I think what do you call it? One of the things. Are the auto turret kind of things good? Or is it should we just save for mortar?
Oh, the sentries are great. It's just they're not necessarily as useful for certain objectives, but in that regard, I might actually take a couple with me.
Okay. Especially with so much of the game seems like you're moving place to place, so it's I could see like anchoring down is not the best in some cases.
It depends on the objective.
I was about to say, also, I think it depends on the difficulty, because I was watching a stream where people were playing survival or whatever it was called. It seemed like, regardless, basically it seemed like they couldn't catch their breath. Like every time there was tons of enemies just constantly pouring in, so that they couldn't really find a safe space. So maybe that having like some sort of anchored point where you can kind of touch base and recover would actually not be that bad.
I do wish the sentries and replacements had reduced cooldowns.
Oh, they have a long ass cooldown.
I mean,
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, even with the ship upgrades, they take a while.
Damn.
But once you, there's 2 separate categories to unlock, upgrade mostly sentries, and it makes it so they deploy faster, they aim faster, they have twice as, or like 50% more health, twice as much ammo, that sort of thing.
I was gonna say, are they permanent? So when you put down a turret, is it permanently there, or does it run out of ammo, or does it break apart?
If it runs out of ammo, it'll undeploy.
Gotcha.
If it gets destroyed, obviously it's gone, and then you just have to call it back, a new one in. But they're like almost all 180 seconds, with
Brutal.
some shorter.
Can you have multiple down?
Yeah.
So you could just
but one of each. So
Yeah.
unless if somehow you manage to not have it expend ammo, then you can call in a second one.
Gotcha. I was about to say, so like if for people who are doing, because I was wondering how that worked. Basically, people seem like how they grinded up their level was basically just by throwing down a bunch of turrets on an extermination mission and killing everything. But I was wondering if you do it solo. But if you built up enough money to where you had like 4 turrets and you just kept chucking them down, could you successfully push into a pretty high level extermination, or you think you still need a bunch of people who each have 1 turret?
You could manage, but you'd have to essentially have 1 of each type.
Yeah,
So you'd have multiple mortars and such.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
There was a bug where people were having duplicates of the same thing, but they fixed that pretty early on.
Ah, nice. It does seem like they're pretty quick on that. Like, again, outside of the server issue, that seems like they addressed a lot of stuff fast.
Yeah.
Launch initiated.
But people have proven that it's very capable. It's very possible to solo even Helldive difficulty.
Yeah.
It requires very different tactics.
I was about to say,
very
define
much
solo. I watched a video of a guy basically does not engage. He just hide. It basically turned into a stealth game. I was like, well,
Yeah.
this doesn't seem
You
as
just
fun.
put on as light of armor as you can. Stay crouched or prone.
Yeah, do not engage.
Scout armor specifically.
The same as where Helldivers 1 too.
Okay.
On the highest difficulty there, which was 15 difficulties.
I mean, that's kind of cool that they kind of subconsciously, how to put it, basically, like you automatically turn into a different type of like recon, essentially, like almost like an assassination build. There we go, nice. I finally have a backpack.
So that's where, until they fix the armor rating, which I'm sure is a high enough priority, because right now armor rating doesn't work. Everyone has the same effective armor, so that's why right now it's actually best to equip light armor, because you don't have any benefit from the higher armor rating. Instead, you get the benefit from the speed and stamina recovery.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And the lighter your armor, it seems like also the stealthier, the higher effectiveness of your stealth can be.
But
So-
how do you feel in that armor?
If you're wearing super light armor that has scout, you're very hard to detect, and you can pretty much prone through the entire mission.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, like, again, there's a massive use case for like the effectiveness. But I can't, man, again, the one armor that makes you look like a Titan, it's so cool. Again, I haven't gotten that deep into the end game.
And don't worry, because once they fix the armor rating, then you can be that and be the
Yeah,
tank
and
you wanna
tanky,
actually
yeah.
be. Just keep in mind you're gonna be slow.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. People are all expecting buffs, but like, I mean, there's probably gonna have to be a cost to wearing heavy armor as well.
Yeah. In the first game, they had it where armor was purely cosmetic, but then you could pick a perk to be heavy armored, which would slow you down, but you're highly damage resistant.
I kind of like that. I don't like when there's armor, like the look of armor has such a massive effect on your character.
And we'll see if they do like a transmog system, but from what they're doing now is I'm fine with, as long as they keep each armor notably different looking,
I agree.
rather than just being a reskin. But this one does this, and this one does that.
Yeah. Ooh. Ah. I was about to say the one thing.
Like right now, I quite like this armor that I picked up from the superstore before.
I was about to say, I think you and Red both. I like Red's like lean look too. It looks like a speedy kind of clothing as well.
Yeah.
I will say I am hoping though. Again, my biggest thing I just like the simple thing of coloring your armor like black and silver would be rad.
Yeah. We'll see if they manage to actually do the camo system. Might be later down the line for all we know.
Yeah.
Could be they do shaders like Destiny, but
Yeah.
not the bad version.
I was about to say
of
when you
Destiny
start saying
shaders. They
combos
fixed
or
it to make them
camos,
permanent
yeah.
again.
Yeah, I get worried when I hear things like camos because I'm like, there's like it could be like, oh, you have to pay for this cool camo pack and stuff like that. And granted, the battle passes seem pretty fair in general,
right
but
now there's technically zero need to spend real money on the on unlocking stuff like that.
It's
all of my
true, but some
unlocks
games, man, I feel like they're just heavily like, it's like technically you don't need any of this stuff, but why do you make
Well,
me
no, I
want it so
agree.
much, you know?
But with how they've done it,
Hmm.
you're able to find plenty of super credits in missions.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say, I heard.
Everyone gets,
Mhm.
and it's very easy to like. If you focus on it, you can get like 200 per hour or faster even. And given that one normal mission takes 40 minutes,
Yeah.
that's essentially doing one mission worth. So right now it's like you can buy super credits, but it's not necessary to at any point. It's only if like you don't have much time to play and you really want to get something before it's gone. Sure.
I wanted to. God damn it. Why can't I? It says I can.
As we were all trying to interact with it.
No, but what do you call it? When I looked at the thing, I seen that an M1 is low on ammo, so I'm trying to fucking. There we go. I was trying to run up to you and give it to you, but
it was my backpack. And I just need to reload it.
I'm about to say, is that what it is? So like, that's not how I can see. That's annoying. How can I tell who needs ammo then?
And normally it works that way, but sadly some of the it's because of how this works where my gun has independent ammo from what's on my backpack.
Oh, I see.
So when it says I'm low ammo, it's that I'm low on my gun, not on the backpack. And
makes
so
sense.
unfortunately it's
Wee bit of a waste.
they need to improve that. That's one thing they definitely should
Well,
fix.
what do you call it? The topic when we were talking about the like how this game seems to be pretty fair in some cases. I was gonna say I heard somewhere, which I thought was really nice, that apparently you can buy the like best season pass, like the premium season pass, with the previous season's like extra platinum gain from the thing. Is that right? I think Fortnite has a similar thing.
It's to an extent.
Yeah.
The war bonds cost 1,000, which is about, if you're gonna buy it with real money, is about $10. But with the free war bond, you can get about 750, which is a slight thing I'm annoyed about, is that as you get like halfway through the free war bond, it costs more medals but gives you half as much.
That's kind of lame.
That's
yeah.
not okay, and I'm annoyed at how they're handling that.
Yeah.
But all premium war bonds have 3 pages as far as I'm aware, and each page gives you 100. So you'll get 300 just from a premium. So for every 1,000 you need to spend to unlock a war bond, you get 300 back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And again, it's pretty easy to just play the game and be gradually getting 10 to 20 per find.
Yeah, I was seeing
super
people say,
credits.
like, again, like you were saying something about like the fact that you can basically just get some by doing certain things in the game. So I imagine there's videos already existing where people are like, this is where you go to farm actual platinum currency, whatever you want to call it, to then be able to kind of get over that edge.
I mean, it's the same thing for getting samples, medals, bonus requisitions. It's just go do missions and check points of interest.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Again,
Especially any of the ones that have the little gold beam. If you're solo, you pretty much can only go for those. If you're playing in at least a duo, you can do the doors, which will sometimes have those as well. There's like 3 different things sometimes.
yeah.
And then there's the little storage crates that require an explosive to open.
Yeah. I seen those. Yeah. I
Could
mean,
be
are
grenade
those?
launcher, autocannon.
I would say, are those good? Like, I see people crack them open, but what do they give you? Is it just like random, like you're saying, random compounds, whatever you might need?
So like, it'll either be samples, sometimes support weapons, which can be handy, especially if you didn't come in with one, or if you want to change up what you're using. But then it will also have requisitions, medals, and super credits. So it's always worth checking them.
Yeah.
Be any of them.
Yeah, because
There's no
it could be
guarantee
something.
of what will be in it.
A lot of times I've
Although
seen it
you
has
can,
been great.
if you know where to look, you can mark it, and it will be like rare sample or something else.
Yeah, what do you call
So
Bolty?
you
Sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say Bolty popped in and said, "Yo, you guys in voice? That's nice. Yeah, Bolty, that's fluff you're hearing right now."
Hello.
Yeah, and I think it's red.
There's one more pin to pull.
Objective located.
Yeah, I'm trying to mark it for so long. I'm
Objective
familiar with
located.
it, but it's not marking the fucking spot.
What is this? Do we got a hit?
Shit.
Just go ahead and pull it. Yeah, for this particular mission objective, someone has to be at the terminal, but everyone else can go down and pull the pins to unlock the silo.
Okay.
And it requires manual unlock. So there's 4 pins. You just go to each of those and you can pull them.
Okay, yeah, because it has a little node, but I couldn't hit it, so I guess Red already pulled it, maybe?
Well, yeah, there was only one that still needed to be.
Okay, so it's only 1 pin.
Correct.
Is this gonna spew out a bunch of fire as soon as it gets going?
Well, I mean, we're launching an ICBM. So it's a giant missile.
Yeah. So if I was close there, I would get singed and killed, probably.
I don't know, but I wouldn't risk it.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense.
I think it eventually
Possibly.
opens up where it's a big hole that you can fall into, so I wouldn't stand over by it.
Makes sense. Ooh. What do you call
One
it,
of the
lone?
more time-consuming objectives.
Yeah, seems like a slow one. What do you call it, lone? Try this. It's not great, and it's definitely not better than what you probably have, but it's different enough to try. Boldy says, so nice finally hearing Fluff. I know, right? Dude, yeah, what do you call it, Boldy? It is, again, having, Fluff has been in my community for such a long time. Same thing with Red, that, like, you build up this kind of, like, image in your mind of just the millions of things they tell you throughout the years. And then hearing Fluff's voice, I'm like, that
sorry,
actually...
I'm not Australian.
No, I know. I know. Actually, since you told me that, it's weirdly dissolved. I now think of it sounds. Hopefully, you don't take us negatively. I now have my image of Fluff is not Australian. It's basically like a librarian, just like a book or a Google. Basically, think of a person. Think of them being Google. Maybe also slightly Australian, but Google nevertheless. It's just a wellspring of information that's clear, crisp, and to the point. That's what I think. And then when I think of Red, I'll be honest. Red's Red fit the mark for me quite a bit. I heard Red's voice. Red's got a deep, raspy voice, and also thinking about how much I know Red likes anime, Hadada games, and currently is working on a Hadada mod. It just all fit perfectly together in my head. I can't even imagine what Lone sounds like. I was kind of wondering if I had talked to one of you guys, because this happened in the past when I used to play like games like Battleborn or something like that. Just the younger kind of audience, where I would get in like a call because someone would ask me something, and I'd be like, okay, I guess I could quickly talk to them. Oh, I did not hear that enough. I'm good. But yeah, it'd be like a younger kid's voice, and I'd be like, oh no, don't make me feel bad about saying certain things in videos. But yeah. Also, Lone says, I'm curious to hear what GRINN thinks I sound like. To me, Lone, oh, that's tough, because I feel like in my head at least, I think of you as like, especially, I think it's because you told me that story about when you were in high school, you had like this anime club, etc. And I know that you said that was like years ago, like it was like I was back when I was in school a while ago. But in my head, I still kind of think of you as like this high school, that was fucked up, but this high schooler in my head. And yeah, so I imagine that's not you. Especially I know how time works, that's not you. But I still have that slight image in my head. Also, this is just in my head, I also think you may be slightly on the skinnier side, because I know you get into that martial arts stuff, specifically sword striking. I also know you go for walks and stuff like that, you're overall healthy, so I imagine you're on the leaner side. And that's my weird mental image of you. I think possibly when I think of you, I think of glasses, but I don't know if that's right or not. That feels like a weird projection on my end. And yeah, but all the overall voice sounds. When I think of your voice, Lone, I don't think of like the tone of your voice. I think of like the mannerisms in which you speak, basically. Because throughout the years, you've said, "I am the god of all waifus. Bow down to me," and that has a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? That little bit of like, I'm in high school and we're just sending it. We're just sending what we believe and our thoughts. Also, Bolty says, "Oh, right, nice to see everyone. That's great." Talking about a thing. Also, man, I need to play more of Pal World. How do you guys feel about that Red and Fluff? Do you guys have you guys still been playing, or are you guys kind of starting to? You've done a lot of the stuff you can do in that game. You're kind of starting to pull back.
Yeah.
Yeah, figured it out.
We both kind of stopped playing a bit, yeah.
I switched over to Enshrouded since it's a little more focused on the RPG elements,
That makes sense.
and it's been fun on my own.
Yeah, you sent that to me. I seen a bunch of streamers play. I thought it looked neat, but I don't know, man. I feel I want to do one at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, I know you're already swamped with other things.
Yeah.
But this game's pretty fun too, and I'm sure you'd like it.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Is like to me that like I always appreciate you guys telling me stuff like that because I do put it on the list of things to do. Like I do want to get to it, especially Yeah. I gotta switch to a weapon that's not AoE based. Also, are you low on ammo, Fluff?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I am too.
There you go.
I'm out of mags.
Lone's good. Nice. Lone's like, what the
There are
fuck?
these two nests.
Lone, I'm gonna do this. Wait here for a bit.
Calling down a
I wish I could drop my weapon.
Okay.
Pick up that Lone. Pick up that machine gun.
My
mean,
master plan came true. I just wanted your samples. Which is silly because in reality, everyone gets the samples at the end. So
Oh, nice. I know that.
there's some silly people out there that have been like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
picked up the
How
samples."
fucking dare you, you rat fuck!
Well, I mean, it's fine if they're just getting angry for no good
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
another thing if they start team killing because of it.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's not good. You don't want to see that. Although they do give you a fair bit of revives. But maybe that's because when you get in later games, it starts to become like a necessity to kind of revive.
But for each active player, you get 5
Oh, okay.
reinforcements.
Sweet.
And then there's, I think from the premium, it's either the premium Warbond or at the end of the free one. I think they have it where you can increase the overall reinforcement limit, but I don't know by how much because that's like the last one to unlock, so it costs like 150 medals just for it.
Brutal. What do you call it? Bolty says, I've been playing, what do you call it, 1.0 release of Sons of the Forest? Or, is that right? Yeah, Sons of the Forest? That was a game, man, that popped off
Impressive.
big.
It's already out of early access. That's good to hear.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's sweet. Yeah, what do you call it? I remember seeing a lot of people play that game. Man, I don't know. I feel weird about that game because I remember back in the day where it, like, when you first seen gameplay of it, it looked so cool, like you chopping down a tree and looking so clean. And then I feel like it went on ice for like a long time. And I feel kind of like, well, this was a scam, you know, but maybe it came back around.
I mean, that's how a lot of
Early access,
survival
yeah.
games tend to go, unless if they do end up being a scam and take the money and run. But
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time, they just kind of go radio silent for a while. Then they come out, and
Rinse and repeat.
unfortunately, it's the double-edged sword of early access is a lot of people jump onto it when it first comes out. Then they're like, okay, it's not done yet. I'll come back when it's done, and then they forget to come back when it's done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's tough. I wonder if Power will have that happen. I feel like I thought Power will
I
be
mean,
more.
it has kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
What I can tell.
Yeah.
And people are now just at the point of waiting for more new stuff to enjoy.
I was about to say, man, I haven't seen people like a game so much since like not quite Fortnite, but it was, yeah, it was pretty crazy seeing how many people love that game, which is cool because I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Again, I hope that makes it so that we get more games like it, because I would love like a version of that game with like zombies, or I know most people probably like one with waifus, etc. Some sort of weird catch 'em all kind of vibe. But hopefully we get more of those.
I mean, at that point, it's just see what else Pocket Pair makes, because they're probably the ones that are going to be making it.
Yeah. What's Pocket Bear? I imagine it's a risque developer.
Pocket Pair's the developer of Pal World.
Oh, okay.
so-
I see. Yeah. What do you
Because
call
they
it?
took a lot of the elements they made in Craftopia, refined them, and turned it into Pal World.
Oh yeah. I seen people say that. Like, I don't know. That was a criticism I felt kind of weird when people were talking about Power in that way, where people were saying that, like, how do I phrase it properly? Basically that, well, this developer has like made games and like abandoned them. But I don't know, man. Like, when you're trying to find like something that people really want, I don't know. I don't disagree with the fact that you want to try something, and if that doesn't stick, then you just keep going on a thing that no one likes. Like, I don't know. Oh, is that a? Is that?
Oh.
Long, I think.
Lung got himself that.
Yeah.
He got knocked down, dropped his orbital, and then was still near it when it.
Is that what it is? I didn't know you could do that. It's
Yeah.
awesome. You're holding
If
the
If
bomb.
you have your orbitals in your hand, you will drop it if you get knocked down, and it will then deploy. Similarly, if you cook a grenade too long, it will explode.
Yep, makes sense. Ooh.
At 20 minutes
Ooh.
remaining.
Is that the one gun I really want to get? The one heavy that I think I'd like the most is probably that. It's like almost like a railgun sniper, it's like explosive.
The autocannon.
Yeah, where it is? Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a lot of fun. It does have less penetration power, so it's not as ideal for like taking on the chargers and the like, but it's pretty good against most targets.
Yeah. I see. The reason why I like this, because I seen a person solo like one of these quests for like the robot people, and he was talking about how good it is, just because it's like long range, it's accurate, and also it does AOE specifically for those people, the ones that hide behind the barriers. So I thought, ooh. But I also, isn't there like, I'm not sure if it's an end game item, but it seemed like one of the ones it's less flashy, but it seems really good. But it's like a charged Gauss rifle almost, where you have to hold it down for a bit, and
The
then
railgun.
it just cuts through something really quick. Does it have like a
High
lot
precision,
of bullets?
It's like the most penetration a gun can have.
I see.
And it is a very easy way to shred through like a charger leg.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a unsafe mode, but I wouldn't recommend using that for the most part.
What's
'cause
that?
If you overcharge it, it explodes and kills you.
Brutal. It's cool again that they
I
give you
think
that option.
happened I think you got to try it last stream and actually got to see it for yourself. Maybe.
Oh, did
Someone
I?
else did. Maybe.
I don't
Maybe
remember.
someone else did. I
Yeah.
can't. I remember like it exploded and killed the user, and then the gun's gone afterwards because of it. The gun
It
exploded.
broke up. Yeah. I don't think I got. I remember I tried this. It's like I felt like an arc gun, but it wasn't like the thing I seen where it almost looks like you charge up like almost like a metal pipe
Yeah,
that you just
so-
fling through people.
The arc thrower is neat, but unfortunately, it's kind of undertuned right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of inconsistent with what it will hit. I actually found it was easiest to just hip fire with it instead of trying to aim down sights and then kind of aim slightly up, because then it will kind of arc downwards and zap things.
That's pretty
But
sweet.
one of my first sessions with this, I was playing with my brother and a friend, and I was charging up the arc thrower because we found it early at a point of interest.
Mhm.
And I charged it, chained through multiple targets, and then hit my friend that was on the other side.
Of course.
of this, like,
Of course it would. Yeah.
because I didn't see where he was.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, that's quite the range.
That makes sense. I was gonna say.
But-
Go ahead.
So one of the upcoming guns will either be a primary or a support weapon. Probably a support weapon will be the Arc Blitzer, which is the shotgun from the first game, but it's a lightning shotgun.
What do the elements do? So incendiary, I imagine, is damage, and it seemed like you hinted at it kind of possibly could slow down an enemy. But what's electricity and stuff like that do? Is it just arc, like you said, chain
So
damage?
the main thing that the electricity is just high damage and will chain between targets, so it can hit up to like 3 on average. But it's also high risk of friendly fire because it'll just bounce,
Yeah.
and then oh, there's a player.
Yeah, take your friends.
And similarly, there's the Tesla tower that also does electric arcs, and it's pretty fun to use, but you gotta pretty much be prone or lower than it. Otherwise, if you pretty much turn into a lightning rod and it'll zap you.
Yeah.
And if you're higher than it, even if you're prone, it will still try to zap you if you're in range.
Brutal. So just a real finicky weapon in general.
I mean, a lot of it's like the game sets it up where a lot of things do not discriminate.
Yeah.
It's like,
But yeah,
it
it's
has
not
no
like you said.
friend or
It doesn't seem like it has
foe
the
setting.
damage to back up. It's kind of like like a lot of weapons in this game seems like they kind of have a pretty good balance of like it's brutal, but if you use it properly, you can actually do some incredible things. But the one things that don't seem to be in that way is the breaker, the shotgun. That seems like you just get a shit ton of damage. It doesn't have any AOE to like accidentally kill your friends with, and yeah. It's pretty easy to use, so I guess that's why people are saying maybe there's some balanced patches that should be coming.
So yeah, hopefully things will be brought closer in line to the breaker, because I've tried it. It's good. I don't like it.
Really? Oh, I love the shotguns, man. They feel so heavy.
I've never been a fan of auto shotguns, to be honest. I prefer more precision
Rifles and such.
semi-auto.
Yeah.
I like to control my shots as much as I can.
I just like to cut down. Like that's my favorite feeling when you're just sitting there and you just can cut down a bunch of
And
people.
that's fair.
Oh.
And so, like, I see the merit in it, but
Yeah.
I also find, like, the Punisher and especially the Slugger, which is what I'm using, is really satisfying to just, like, single shot, the thing's dead.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
Despite its saying light armor penetration, the Slugger actually can penetrate up to medium, because it has, like, really high single shot damage. So it's really handy. Same with the Senator revolver. The revolver is kind of the same thing. They both say light armor penetration, which I hope they change. They can still say light, medium, heavy, whatever.
Yeah.
But they need a penetration number, like there's a little slider bar, and it needs to be like how much light.
Yeah.
penetration
How
does
much
it
of
have?
it
How
can
much
you actually
medium?
feel the effect? Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like on paper, people were disregarding the Slugger because they thought, oh, it's like half as much damage as the Breaker. Why is this good? It's a slug shooting shotgun. Of course it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Because it's listing high damage for a single
Pellet. Yeah.
projectile,
Yeah.
while the damage listed for the Breaker is if all pellets hit the target and aren't resisted or deflected or whatever.
Yeah.
ETA T-minus 30 seconds.
So, I don't know. I find some
Yeah. No, it's
farming of this game has been silly, because it's like, you guys, have you actually tried using the weapon?
Yeah.
Do you understand what its use case is?
Although,
Similarly, like the Scorcher can be about as effective as the Breakers. The Scorcher's the plasma rifle that you can get at the end of the free. The problem with it, compared to the Breaker, is you don't want to use it to fend off things up close, because it's explosive and you'll more likely hurt or kill yourself with it.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes I can't give people ammo. Like I'm walking up to them, I can't see I see there's a node, but I can't actually feed them anything. Can't with him.
It's a little finicky,
Yeah.
and also like both parties have to stand still long enough. Like you have to, like when you hear the ammo sound,
Yeah.
you actually have to watch the animation finish for
Oh.
it to actually go over to the other player.
Okay. Weird.
It's weird, and maybe they'll streamline it a bit better,
Yeah. Hopefully.
because the audio is out of sync with the actual animation and granting.
That's crazy that you noticed that, Fluff. I would have just been like, well, let me do the thing. I would have been looking at the
I
audio cues.
noticed it from experimentation.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Are we ready to move over to Suicide Squad and finish that game off that we've been playing for almost 2 weeks now?
I think most of the weapons in this game are more towards Fluff's taste than mine. My favorite weapon from HD1, they changed it into a support weapon.
That's
Weapons.
Yeah.
they only had a handful that were considered support weapons, and you would like pick it as a perk option or as a call-in.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have an equivalent primary in this game.
No. And I feel like with how they've treated the stalwart in this version of the game, it makes sense as a support because of it having the higher magazine size, but it does behave like a primary weapon otherwise.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, it functions the exact same in this game that it does in the first game.
Welcome
Same
aboard,
mag size and
survivor.
everything.
But they had it different. They didn't have as heavy of an emphasis on the stratagems being weapons and backpacks. Some of the things were.
Okay, makes sense. Kind of balancing everything out. Alone says, "I'm gonna take 5 so I can go." Yeah, go.
We'll have to wait and see. There's gonna be some cool stuff coming. There's like a explosive crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, Power World is kind of the example of like what happens when you have a bunch of success and you have to pause to work on it. And they don't seem like they have been like, feeding the community like, hey, this is what we're working on, this is what we're trying to do, which it seems like the devs for this game have. So I would prefer that, kind of having some idea of where you're going in the future is nice, rather than, like you said, most survival games just dump a bunch.
So they had like an initial roadmap. They've had to kind of rework it because the server issues changed what they expected. The sheer success and numbers of players is much greater than anything they could have expected. Because they were a relatively small indie team beforehand. They made Magicka. They made.
I was gonna say, man, how do you think Sony reacts to all this? Because, like, to me, I just there's nothing about this game that is any echo of what Sony has done before, as far as live service with Destiny or any of these other games. To where I feel like, I don't know, man, I'm a little worried to see what they have in the future. Because I wonder if Sony's just gonna be like, yeah, you keep doing what you're gonna be doing, or are they gonna be like, no. Let's get our business guys in there. Let's tell you how to make a bunch of money. We're gonna put this in there. We're gonna add more skins to pay for.
Outside of being the publisher, I'm not sure what else they're doing.
Okay.
Help or hurt the game. It's just like, we provide the platform. You have to be on our platform, and maybe not ever release it onto other platforms other than PC.
Yeah, maybe. Pause. I just, to me, I didn't know that. That they were like, I thought they worked underneath Sony. Is that right?
Well, Helldivers seems to be under Sony as an IP.
Okay.
The first Helldivers was a PlayStation exclusive initially. Eventually, they released it onto PC, and I think that's the only other platform it's ever been on.
Okay.
While people really want it on Xbox, I don't think it's going to happen because it's published by Sony. I don't think they're ever going to be the first one to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
So maybe testing the waters on Xbox's side for releasing a handful of their games onto Sony and Nintendo might see some changes, but I wouldn't count on it. Sony's pretty heavy-handed about their exclusivities.
I was about to say, I feel like there's much better odds
PC.
doing the whole Xbox thing, which we have confirmation now at this point from everyone thought Sunset Overdrive and all those games are coming now to PlayStation and all that stuff. Do you think, I want to ask you this, Fluff, before I go use Washroom, we switch over to Suicide Squad. Do you think Xbox had the intention to move a lot more games over to PlayStation, and when the uproar happened, they kind of said, "Oh, let's pull back a little bit and let's be more gradual about this process"? Or do you think it never was the case?
Like, there was an interview about it, and I think their main goal was just, let's release these games, get more crossplay, make some money off of other platforms. But they've been like, hey, here's a sample platter of what we can offer. Come to us. Come enjoy Game Pass. Come enjoy Xbox exclusives. Stuff that doesn't need to be exclusive anymore after 5+ years of success.
Yeah,
now we'll release them onto other platforms. Because it was like Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Penitent, or whatever it's called. It was like 2 games from Rare, 1 game from Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, there's no reason not to put it on other platforms.
But do you think? Sorry, how am I trying to phrase this properly? To me, it just seems like it's cannibalizing their initial strategy. Like, you know what I mean? Like to me, it makes sense that, like, if Xbox is going all into Game Pass, which is what we've been hearing for years, which is Game Pass. To me, the strength of Game Pass is that it doesn't care about console shittery. It basically just wants you to buy Game Pass, get your monthly subscription, and then lock in. So the fact that, like, to me, it made them, when I heard this news about them like trying to do this, I'm like, this makes the most sense in the world. This is what Xbox has been telling us forever, is that they're trying to basically say, hey, we want out. We don't like the content exclusivity bullshit. We want out.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
But given their response was relatively quick about it, I think probably their plan was, let's see if we can sell Game Pass onto other platforms.
Yeah.
That's, if anything, what they might do in the future, is that it's not that they're going to sell their game, or it's like, let's see if we can sell our service to a wider audience.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought it was. I didn't know that that's why I thought the whole premise was for them to go to Sony, and basically, I think the issue that they're going to have is probably Sony. It's going to cut into Sony's margins essentially so badly by having Game Pass.
People were assuming they were going to leave the
console
making market, which is not the case. Instead, it's that they want to widen the net on who they want to sell to. So for now, it's just, hey, these games were already successful for however many years. Let's just release it onto other platforms.
Yeah, so
open up more cross-play, and then we make more money because, hey, now people are buying it on the Switch. Hey, now people are buying it on the PlayStation. But we're still making the money because it's our game.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But the only thing I find is weird is, one, if you're a business that's massive, and you have like tons and tons of like production over the years and years that you've been operating to manufacture something, you're not just going to detonate that in one fell swoop. So I don't think Xbox is ever going to get out of the console thing. What made the most sense to me is that they were going to they were basically just going to try to make a much higher end Xbox and then basically corner that end of the market where they're basically making basically a PC, but it will cost $500. It'll cost $800, which Sony might not be willing to do, and then they'll lock up that market. But I don't think they were ever not going to make consoles. It would just be weird for them to explode their entire years and years of manufacturing.
It's hard to say. I know both Sony and Microsoft are planning a mid-gen upgrade this holiday season.
Yeah, I'm not in love with that.
It's like PlayStation 5 Pro,
Pro Max,
whatever they would call the Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox Triple X. But I don't know. It's hard to say. They've clearly found success with the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Game Pass is maybe they're testing the waters to see, hey, let's just sell this service on any platform. You don't have to own an Xbox, but you need our service.
Yeah, well, also, I'm not sure if you've seen that, but that was something cool to see from the, Oculus Quest Meta Facebook thing, where they were basically you can stream. So basically, what is it called, Stadia? It's the same thing of streaming games from anything. You can do that on Oculus. So they're clearly already building out that. But I think the biggest problem they have right now is that if they basically went to Sony and said, hey, we want to sell Game Pass on your thing, it would eat up so much of what Sony already is selling. So they'll get way more out of their fully priced games being bought because you can't get a discount to save your life on PlayStation. So the fact that you're taking all that away by having Game Pass, Xbox would have to pay so much money to have to make up that margin for PlayStation that I don't know if we'll ever have that, which makes more sense of why Xbox is like, wait, what if I just stream it from our server towers, what we have on bank because we were Microsoft. That at least makes more sense to me.
And return to their cloud streaming ideas that they had before.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's hard to know. We'll have to see if it even sells well on the PlayStation platforms, because some people get very stingy about oh, you finally come to us 5 years later? Well, I'm not going to buy your game now.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's just
because we're the fucking same. We're I would love to have played God of War, on well, I guess we could play it on PC probably soon here, but an Xbox or whatever it be.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
so good.
The thing I'm most surprised about is Sucker Punch games aren't going to be on a PC anytime soon. For
that
all
sucks. I know. Yeah, I mean, out of other developers, how much did you like Ghost of Tsushima, Fluff?
I enjoyed it a lot, but I never
more
finished
than
it,
Infamous?
sadly. But no.
Yeah, that's my boy. I knew it. I gotta use the washroom.
Yep.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten kicked yet. I feel like that should be a much tighter time period. Oh. All right, let's switch over to the other game. Base camp. Oh. I cannot wait to play that game with you guys, by the way, tomorrow. Called Bootstrap. Is that right? Bootstrap Island. Do you want to play a survival game that has the most satisfying sounds ever? Let me tell you. Suicide Squad. But yeah, man, you can like break open a coconut and then you rip it open and it just sounds so perfect. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hopefully my PC can run it. I think we should be good, but I know I watched a content creator that was barely able to run it as when he's rocking a what is it called, a 7090, whatever it is, like with the best graphics card you possibly can have. But I think it's because he had a memory leak, because it said like we can't store any more memory, so I feel like that's got to be what he was going through. But I'm excited. I can't wait to play it.
I mean, plenty of people disregard their GPU. Oh, they think all they need is a good GPU.
Yeah.
They forget memory, motherboard, CPU. Everything else matters too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with why I needed this new computer was Hi-Fi Rush would not run on my old CPU.
Oh yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah. I remember you said you couldn't get played. I thought you also encountered was it Hi-Fi Rush? I thought it was a glitch you also experienced. It was like stopping you from playing.
It was a CPU problem where anytime it would do the loading screen, it would crash the game.
Eesh. That's not
I had a workaround, but it was a very annoying workaround that wouldn't be fun to try to play that game.
Yeah.
They eventually fixed it, but by that point I had the new computer ready to go, and I just unfortunately haven't had time to jump back into it.
I was about to say, did you ever end up playing Hi-Fi Rush? Even for a little bit?
I hope to get back to it.
Oh, dude,
but I
you're
haven't
gonna
had
love
the
it.
time.
That was one of those games that was special, especially if you had time to grind it out. I think it'd be just an amazing time. Also, I'm not sure if you're back, Lone. Bodhi says, no offense, Grin, but having someone properly explain the game to you makes your gameplay so much better and more interesting. Thank you, Bilty. I try my best to look at like my videos, try to not become. But again, it's also. I mean, to be honest, I'm focusing much more on the conversation with Fluff and Red and all that stuff than I am reading chat. So I'm able to focus on playing the game and listening, which is less mentally taxing than reading whilst you're trying to shoot something, whilst you're trying to think of what to say back to the person, and having to juggle 3 balls instead of just 2. So that may be also why the gameplay is slightly improved, although it is, again, I agree with the fact that here, like actually knowing what you're doing is a blessing for sure. Friends. Fluff is in game. Invite to squad. Confirm. There we go. Well, Lone says overall, had fun though. Can't say I'll be playing this much outside of the streams. Oh, I was wondering, Lone. I feel like what it call? I think as soon as you start getting stratagems, I think that's, and also I think when you start unlocking things within the battle pass, which I'm not sure if we explained to you, but that's the game was fun. But it became like the desire to want to progress improved as soon as I started buying stuff within the battle pass, and I didn't really know that's how you got access to new guns. So I think when you start unlocking stuff, that's when the game starts becoming really interesting. Although I will say again, I think playing with people makes it much more fun. So I would suggest not playing solo unless you have a bunch of stuff unlocked or you're really into that kind of gameplay of like stealth and hiding and things like that. Friends. I think I invited you. Fluff is here. I'm not sure if Lone is here or if Red and Lone just don't want to play some of this, which makes sense if you say no, but let me know. But yes, now, so we still have some more stuff to go. We have to go to the map. What else is there to do, Fluff? Wasn't there like so I think we needed to get enough money to where then we could beat the final boss, or beat one of the many of the final bosses that we need to beat. And then is that credits roll thing, Fluff?
I think we just need to see if we can get the Brainiac boss to work. The last time we were having issues where, like, your game wasn't showing us readying up.
Yeah, it wasn't
so
synced. Yeah,
it will work in co-op.
Also, let's hope I remember how to play, because it's been a minute.
Looking forward to working with you on this important mission. Hero out.
Must have been an old CPU. It wasn't terribly old, but pre-built. Tend to have the cut. Yeah. Also, are we good? Are we good to start, or does Lone and Red want to jump in? It's okay if you guys are busy. Not that I don't want to play with you. I feel like we've played a lot already. You might be like, I want to stay playing Helldivers. Also, what's good, Luminant? Luminant says Ghost.
Red said earlier he didn't want to
I gotcha.
play this.
Luminant says Ghost of Tsushima way better than Infamous. Really? I mean, I guess it's a bad question in general because Ghost of Tsushima is like a rarity. Like I don't think there's many games that like kind of sink into the Japanese. I guess it's the Sekiro. I guess that's something. But it's more try hard than you think. But I don't know, man. I also think that we just don't have many. I mean, arguably we have prototypes, so I guess it's just a less saturated market as far. But I don't know. I still fucking love to bits Infamous. Although I did like Ghost of Tsushima. I did really like it. I don't know. To me, it was a really good. How do I put this? Ghost of Tsushima was a really well-built game that I don't think I would have enjoyed unless it was so well built. Like the fact that there was builds, the fact that there was like story, the fact that there was like bases and stuff like that was all really competent that I was able to get something out of it. But if they didn't have all that stuff there, I don't think I would have loved it nearly as much. Whereas if Infamous was just like, yeah, you're just a guy, punk rocker guy with some powers, that's kind of cool enough to me where it's, yeah, because we play shooters all the fucking time, you know? We don't play as many Japanese melee games for sure. But yeah. All right, so I think we just hit select difficulty.
I would say Sucker Punch has made great games in all regards, but I like superhero stuff, so that's why I liked Infamous more.
That's true. That's true. You also you played almost all the DC type games as well as the even the weirder ones where it's like not weirder ones. I guess these are more normal, which is the Marvel Spider-Man games and stuff like that.
I was more of a Marvel kid, I guess.
Yeah.
I always liked Spider-Man and similar things.
Yeah.
But I grew up with this with City of Heroes.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's your. Is that your
the-
favorite game, Fluff? I think you said your favorite game, right? Or one of them.
It's at least my favorite MMO of all time.
Yeah. That's
But
what I
up there in my favorite games.
Yeah. What do you call it? That man? I think you said that for a long time. I think I have like a memory of City of Heroes in my head, but I'm not sure if it's the game I'm thinking of.
It came out like a month or so before, or maybe a couple months, same year as World of Warcraft, and we know how World of Warcraft took the world by storm. So,
I didn't know that. Wow.
But City of Heroes did a lot of great things, and still has some of the best MMO design in my opinion.
Do I remember it properly? Is that the game where like you could pick like to be ice powers, you could pick blood powers and all that kind of stuff? Am I thinking of the right thing?
Not quite, but it is similar.
All right.
Like Champions and even DC Universe Online also had similar stuff. Champions was actually from the same people that made City of Heroes.
Okay.
But City of Heroes has it where you pick an archetype, and the archetype would be like Scrapper is a melee duelist, where you get up close and personal and like are really good at fighting bosses and things.
Okay.
And they have like tanks, or tankers specifically is what they called them. Controllers, which were the crowd control focused power sets. Defenders, which were the support players, and then blasters, which were ranged snipers, essentially. But once you pick an archetype, you can then pick a primary and a secondary, and depending on your archetype would define what combination of primary and secondary powers you would have.
Yeah.
Like a Scrapper would be melee focused with defensive secondarily. Tanks were defense focused with melee secondarily.
I was gonna say I'm thinking of. So there's two games that are getting clunk around in my head. Do you remember this game, Fluff, where it was basically X-Man, where you could pick 3 characters? And one was like
that.
Exactly. Yeah. One was like blood, and one was like I don't know if it was rock or something like that. But it was actually a pretty good game. Yeah.
I remember I played through it. I think I've actually repeated it multiple times because I wanted to get like kind of the interactions of each of the characters.
Yeah.
Because your power set was separate from who you played as, but you would get different like dialogue and stuff. I remember one of the characters, like the guy that was supposed to be like the jock or whatever, was actually Milo Ventimiglia from Heroes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One show. So he was the one of the two brothers in the main series of that, or main.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
but
I got it.
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Stay on your toes.
I think I played the skinnier guy usually, but it was kind of the case where while technically you could combine any character with any power set, each one kind of seemed to have a specific
Yeah, a dominant one. Yeah.
tone. So like big guy was the rock character. The female character was like more of like the stealthy assassin kind of power set, and
Yeah.
then the other guy was whatever the third one was. I can't remember. It's been that long.
I know, man. I as soon as it was one of those weird core memories I unlocked. And I was like, I remember being one of like the more underrated games, but it was so fun. I'm not sure you guys remember it in chat as well, but again, there's like a good like. I think there's just a bank vault of memories that you used to play back in the day like that you don't remember, but there actually is like a good time in gaming. But we just don't have that shock and awe that like Modern Warfare and stuff like that has. It's still very good. Fluff, what are we supposed to do here, by the way?
Well, there's 2 mission objectives we have to do, and we're on a time limit, which
With just a Promethean security blanket for
So it's open the map and select the route, I guess? What does that mean? Oh, we're going
Yeah.
over here.
Okay, team, it's time to take on our biggest data gathering exercise yet. This won't be a walk in the park, but I know we can do it. Come on, hero.
Also, Lone says, you guys go ahead, Slate. Gotcha. The best non-IP superhero game was Infamous. Yeah. Well, what was that? Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people love Prototype. I like Prototype too, but I always kind of was like, man, Prototype was good, but for entirely different reasons. In terms of the fact that it just did not care at all. It was gonna stomp on you. It was gonna eat people. You're gonna like create soci. It's worse than GTA, honestly. People think GTA is bad, but
it
you like
was one
kill
of the
them.
best sandbox games, but I wouldn't call it the best superhero game.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, man, but like people give GTA a hard time. In the back of my head, I'm always like, dude, Prototype, like incentivize you. First of all, you played a non-arguable terrorist. Like you are a monster in that first game, and then also, what do you call it? You also have you like it almost like incentivizes you to go and like eat random innocent civilians that you just unlock their like cancer DNA, and you're like, this is fucked up. We're doing terrible things.
I would say they made a very good game,
Yeah.
but it was definitely of a different time.
Yeah.
Super edgy.
Yeah. I don't dislike that. Again, as long as the game is aware that like it's trying to push really hard in that way, I don't think it's that bad, you know?
Which will bring a lot of Brainiac skies right down on top of you.
And I'm not saying it was a bad thing.
No,
either,
I
it's
know,
just
yeah.
that It was a game of its time.
Yeah. Activate this. There we go. Damn, that grenade I got is real good. There's something going on with this guy? Why is he not taking that much damage? It's like...
No, with the squad ultimate active, they get slowed down so much. After their health gets depleted by 1 bar, they try to explode. And
Oh.
when they're slowed down like that, they don't do so. So they're just kind of sitting there nearly invulnerable.
Oh, I got clipped somehow. I don't know what just happened to me.
Yeah, that's one of them exploding,
Oh, I see. Also, why am I... No, I'm not hitting the buttons a long
which
time.
does not have the best indicator for their radius.
Yeah. And now that we can drop them, so that sucks, man. My ability does not seem that very good then. What's the point of
Well,
putting...
we all get access to the squad ultimate is squad wide.
Oh, I
Everyone
see.
gets the same effect. But each character has a special like buff that applies to them when the squad ultimate is on.
Yeah. Yeah, so like so wait, let me clarify if I'm understanding this right. So like if I activate my slow-mo, that also activates dead shot special squad activation, right? Or does it
Correct,
only
if they
active?
have it
Okay,
unlocked.
yeah, I see.
The squad ultimate is the Suicide Squad's ultimate.
Okay.
So like once you activate it, it goes on cooldown for everyone. Someone else then has to activate it. Then the next person has to
I
activate
got
it.
lit up. Jesus Christ, that guy's on ya.
But after you unlock the squad ultimate with that character, later in the skill tree also has other effects. So like for King Shark, he has more melee damage or more suicide strike uses and melee or damage for it while the ultimate's active.
Yeah. So yeah, basically the buffs that you get, everyone gets applied it, right? Does that make sense? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
Also, should get in the bubble.
Oh, is that what it is? Ah, barely made it. Oh my god, I was not paying attention. I was actually, I don't know where it says what we're supposed to do. Gather enemy data. Does that mean just kill them?
It was we had to kill the big guys and then collect those little data things,
And then drop them in the thing.
and then return it. And then once we got enough, then it has the safety bubble.
Makes sense. Also, Crash says, "Ice boy here, I tank in what? Ice boy here, I tanked in day. Back in the day, you mean? Oh, in like City of that I can't think of City of Heroes. Is that riff off City of Heroes? Is that what the game's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you played a tank? Is that what you're saying, Crash?
If we're talking about the same game, I was like a scrapper most of the time when I first played the game, but I eventually shifted over to tanking. Because
I was about to say, that seems like you're...
the scrappers were a little more like martial focused, so they didn't necessarily have superpowers. They had like weapons and such abilities, so like martial arts and stuff, which is fun. But I wanted to feel like I had power.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Just combat capability. But you weren't necessarily limited too heavily, and gradually they added various power sets and stuff got expanded to other archetypes. And with the private servers, including the one that actually is now officially licensed by NCSoft,
Oh, nice.
as one of my favorite new archetypes called the Sentinel. And it essentially takes a shorter ranged equivalent of blaster range powers and then gives you secondarily armor powers. So I was like, this is what I wanted from the beginning of the game, was essentially being like a mid-range combatant with like the ability to throw fireballs or whatever.
Sweet. So you finally got what you wanted? That's awesome.
Yeah, it just took the game dying
Yeah.
and being revitalized by private servers.
There's always well, that's the thing, man. That's the thing that bothers me so much about things like what do you call it, Gearbox. The amount of times that this happens every single time they make a game, where they basically finagle around and don't really balance the game really well. Like I haven't seen any person who's enjoyed Gearbox's balancing. But then, always, there's like a modding sect of the community that basically adjusts everything perfectly. And you think Gearbox would be like, oh, we're going to monitor that, and we're going to basically add, or we're going to learn from what the modifications that they made, and we're just going to implement them next time, in our next game. But they never do. And you're like, why does it take modders constantly having to adjust things when you could just hire someone to be like, hey, this is clearly what the community really favors and enjoys. And it's not like it's a skewed margin of like one person liking this, you know?
And I feel like Gearbox would be more receptive to that if they weren't lorded over by 2K, which is taking a pretty hard stance against modding most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, bubble up.
Oh, I picked a bad time to activate the special ability that puts you into a melee animation. My bad. There we go. Thought it was like real soon. We had pretty okay amount of time.
Although, speaking of Gearbox, I did actually try a little bit of the gigantic...
Yeah, how did that go?
I didn't get to play much of it because it was like a 2-day short thing, but it was fun. I got to try characters that I didn't get to try back when the game was originally released.
Yeah, because I think they did add some
I think
stuff.
they added 2 characters that were almost finished, but never had a chance to be fully released. What they're doing with it is that they're just going to be essentially the people in charge of the re-release are just like a porting company, so they just help like release a port to another platform or whatever else. So the plan is just they're going to release the game. It's going to be like $20 instead of free to play because they're not planning on maintaining it much. They'll keep the servers running. They'll make sure that people can keep playing the game, but it'll be as is. but also means it won't be live service-ified, where
Yeah.
it's like
I mean,
cosmetics will just be like earnable. You don't have to pay real money for them. They're not planning on doing any of that.
I was gonna say
They're
I
just
think
wanting to
that's the
bring the game
best.
back.
That's the best time to introduce like mod support to the game, if possible. You know, if you could be like, hey, you pay $20, but theoretically, if the community pops off, then you could have much bigger of a game, I guess. You know, but
Yeah,
that maybe it's
so
hard to do.
All it's really doing is making me hope that maybe Battleborn will see the same treatment.
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
great.
they'll bring it back. They'll make it not have monetization crap attached to it, and just let people play the game again.
Yeah. Again, I mean, as much as I really do hope that happens, I am curious to see if it's like, again, I think there was that sweet spot right where like where Overwatch 2 was getting shit on for like the fact that they lied basically about the story quest. Did I get down? Oh, I'm sorry, Bluff. I keep going down.
And get you.
But yeah, what do you call? I wonder because there was that sweet spot right when Overwatch 2 was coming out, where like they were talking about how they're never gonna do this. What's it called? A story aspect of the game, and that would be the perfect time to be like, hey man, if you haven't played it, there's this game. It's really good.
Yeah, that would have been a perfect opportunity if they didn't kill their own game.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately 2K was like, yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
Like, there's such a mess of like bad advertising.
Yeah. Also, again, like to me, I never really clicked, but I always thought like, it took a long time for me to realize what they did with Battleborn, where I thought like, oh, I'd still be able to go back and play like, you know, the story quests and all that stuff, but I don't think that was the case. You like they literally just turned like you
No,
spent $60.
It was entirely shut down. Any server-based stuff
Yeah.
was inaccessible. So, I mean, there's the people trying to make it playable, and I think it's cool. I tried it, but I mean, it's just you can play the story missions solo right now, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts. I thought this is neat, but like until it reaches a certain threshold, this isn't really like it's too much.
They're trying to essentially recreate the functionality of
Which
the
hell, I mean,
entire game.
the only reason I don't know. I hope it's the case. Like, I hope it's possible, but like unlike Paragon, where like I think they made all the assets open to people, so like theoretically it's just a matter of like can you build the mechanics in the background that fill in the space. I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that with Battleborn. You know, that's a lot of like they didn't give
I
out
think
all the
that
assets.
Their only route is to make it non-profit, and then 2K might not make a
Just think about it.
might
Yeah.
not care.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, if money's involved, they are not gonna take kindly to it.
Well, that was the thing that surprised me, man. Like, people talk about this in regards to like pornography or something crazy, where like, why are there so many like direct parodies of all of these like really on the nose, like massive franchises like Game of Thrones, wherever you could want, but yet they don't get sued, and it's because they're not dipping into the same market as them at all, so that people don't really care because it's not the same thing. Then what do you call it? It's the same could be said for the reason why Pokemon people were kind of like, yeah, this Pal World thing is like not dipping into what we do at all.
Yeah, the only thing they acted on was the fact that people were taking assets from Pokemon and putting it into Pal World.
Yeah. Also, the what do you call it? People. The only thing they ever said was also I think this is what they like. They're the Pokemon like actual people who own the IP name or something like that. Where they didn't like people saying. It's like Pokemon with guns. So their issue is only with the verbiage of them basically like drawing a parallel of Pokemon.
Recognition.
Yeah.
But Pal World was not advertising themselves that way. That was everyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, unless Power World has said this is like a thought crime on the internet. This is dumb. You know.
They found ways to advertise their game without needing to say it,
Yeah.
and I think they did fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun game, and the only issue is that yes, some of them are clearly too close to the sun in design, but that's about it.
Yeah. What do you want to see from
now we're
Power
at-
World, by the way? Like out of updates wise.
Hard to say. I mean, honestly, I would just be happy to see more.
You don't want
types and
like
stuff.
Pokemon evolutions or Pal's evolutions. I feel like that'd be sick.
Evolutions would be nice, but I feel like certain mechanics they have to be careful about because it would be too similar. So that's why they're like, oh, Pangolin and Penking are both penguin things,
Yeah.
but they're unrelated, despite being both penguins.
Yeah, exactly the same.
So I don't know. We'll see what they do with it, because it's otherwise like Pokemon creatures, but it's behaving more like Ark.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so what's the game that you already played? What's that like? The one that's like
Enshrouded?
yeah. The one that's like almost like a Dark Souls
Enshrouded
Viking.
is definitely more. It's mostly an RPG. It has some building elements with relatively light survival elements. Like you don't have to eat, but if you eat, you have up to 3 like food buff slots.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So those last for like up to like 30 minutes or more. So you can give yourself like more health, more stamina, whatever.
I'm so sorry, Fluff. I did not know we were supposed to be
You
here.
have a pretty wide web of skills you can pick from, which is really nice. So you can choose to be like, I want to be the tank, or I want to be a battle mage. I want to be the beast master. So animals and these beast-like people will be neutral to you, and then you can also get an upgrade where they will help you fight if you're fighting other things.
Can you like anchor them to you? Can they follow you?
It's more like if they're near you, they won't attack you.
Yeah.
And then if you get the next tier, they will help you in fights rather than attack you.
Yeah. It's close.
But then you can still attack them if you want.
I was about to say it's close. If it was like, oh, you can like put a collar on one of these people, now they're like kind of slightly follow you, then that could be some. But otherwise, it's kind of like you got to set up your
They
base.
might eventually add that. It seems like Enshrouded's a lot closer to release. Between it being an early access to full release, it's like 0.7 right now.
Okay.
So they're keeping it a lot closer to.
Yeah. Being done.
So instead, it's more like. Well, some people are saying it's like Dark Souls. It kind of is, not really. It's like really like core, like base concept is like.
Yeah.
it's
Everything's
if,
Dark Souls.
outside of that,
Yeah.
But instead, it's more a little bit of like Kingdoms of Amalur, a little bit of Fable, a little bit of a few other third-person
Ooh.
RPGs, and that's where I'm really enjoying it.
Fable, you got me interested. Don't do this to me though, Fluff. I have big
little
expectations
closer
for
to
Fable.
1, but it still feels Fable-like.
Ooh. It's not anything like
you don't have any
Valheim?
firearms, at least not yet. It does have Valheim elements, but
okay.
that's mostly like the food and building system. It's voxel based. It's actually surprisingly, I didn't realize until later that they are the same developers of Portal Knights.
Huh. What's that game?
Which was a more. It was kind of like a survival. Well, not even really a survival game, but it was like a RPG with Minecraft elements because it was more of a voxel world. But you picked like different classes that you could play as. But you actually had to pick it at the start of your character creation, so you could be a wizard, a knight, an archer, and then later on they added like druid, which is pretty cool. But then you would like collect gear for your class, and then you could kind of go through portals, which send you kind of like how Nightingale is, but less survival focused. Where you go through like portals to go through different.
Have you gotten a
realms
chance to play
to do
Nightingale?
specific-
What?
Nightingale, no. I've watched it.
I was gonna say, how are the
Interesting,
videos?
But, it seems like it's good, but it seems like it needs a lot of work.
Yeah, like bare bones a little bit.
Yeah, like there's not a lot going for it on like purpose, reason to play.
Yeah, I was
right
about to say
now. It's
that's
just-
something that
it's
Power I
survival
thought
game
knocked out of the
with-
park.
with realm hopping.
It-
And that's kind of just how most
survival games
early
are, yeah.
access, early access survival games will feel.
Okay.
For a similar survival game, though, Small Land actually just released. I was to 1.0 out of early access.
What's Small Land?
It's similar to Grounded, but instead of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the survival game, it's like Fern Gully, where you play as like a little
A fairy?
fairy person.
Yeah.
But instead of actually having wings yourself, you eventually get to like craft them as bug wing gliders or whatever else.
Sweet. I wonder what that actually would look like. And it's the same thing, like a first person or a third person game?
I think it's entirely third person. They found it was easier to just develop for that rather than trying to develop both first and third perspectives, because it's two separate perspectives that they would have had to animate for. So it would have overcomplicated things.
Yeah.
But you play as like what they call small folk.
Small folk?
As you are some reason like a lot of the animals are being a lot more hostile than they normally should be.
Okay.
So you're tasked to figure out why.
So there's a
but you even
story.
have like a peaceful mode and other things like that. You're pretty much it's a survival game, so you're going around building little structures out of grass and leaves, and then eventually larger materials.
Okay. I was gonna say.
You're able to tame some of the creatures, so you can tame it like a grasshopper, ride around on it, and jump real high, or a gecko, which is like more combat-oriented compared to the grasshopper. Other things like that. It seems pretty neat. I like the concept. It's similar to how Grounded is, like tiny person in a giant world.
I was gonna say I really liked the idea of Grounded, but I didn't think they maximized the actual like the cool factor of what Grounded was, I think, trying to be. I like being able to tame plant or like bugs or something like that, or being able to like, I don't know, like get a Venus flytrap or something. Like you said, like again, I think the thing that, to me at least, what makes a survival game really, really compelling, is what you can do outside of just survive. You know, like that's what makes the Power World to me.
That's where I would say like Power World and both and Shrouded in that regard, even though it's very barely a survival game, more appealing because it's like you feel like there's goals that you can achieve and power you can gain.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That makes me want to play it. Did you ever keep up with Grounded? Did it ever improve?
I know it got into its full release.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
It's one of the 4 Xbox games coming to at least the Switch, if not also PlayStation. And it has like a full storyline to it, I guess, but I haven't checked it out myself in a long time.
Yeah, I played it a little bit back in the day. I thought this is neat, but then I was like, as soon as they update like things that I actually think would be nice, but I don't know, man. I feel like so many games nowadays just, I mean, maybe it's just me being like a dummy, but how I think I know what people want, or whatever, which maybe isn't correct. But I don't know. I feel like they always choose things to update, which I'm like, I don't know. People want another spider boss to fight or a new grasshopper boss to fight. And people want more things to do. But I don't know. Maybe they did really well. I don't know. I just don't. I remember seeing a lot of people excited for Grounded. They played it really fun because of the arachnophobia craze aspect of the game. But then it just died. Like I don't remember seeing anyone play it after that. So I don't know. But maybe that's the plight of survival games.
It's the case that, as I was saying earlier, the early access survival has that issue of people play it,
yeah,
they
and it
like
dies.
it, they burn out, they wait for it to finish, they forget to check back on it.
Also, what do you call Fluff? When it comes to this game right now, do we hit Flash with like a stun and then we can deal damage to him when we get a buff?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
at the moment that's what we have to do. I think they made it so our stun shots do a little more damage, but I don't know if they actually did that yet.
Yeah.
This boss fight takes a while.
I'm about
Either
to say,
way.
seems like a good bit.
Although we're making progress because they're having the little waves of enemies and stuff.
Yeah.
You know I can't possibly let this body be compromised. Regenerating.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think they said that the 2 more variants of Brainiac will be available in Season 1.
Oh, I didn't know that. So we
the-
can't get Superman and all that stuff? They're that boss
I
right here?
think it's going to be a Superman-themed Brainiac and a Green Lantern-themed Brainiac.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I'm not sure if they'll redo the Batman fight because that's a very particular design with the
Yeah.
whole fear. I don't know. It's not that as exciting as some of the other fights were.
I was about to say, do you think they're gonna like? Because I'm not sure if we actually seen Wonder Woman's body like get cold, or if like she's still like he took her. I don't know. I don't really think we. I know we've seen her
No,
like kind of
she's
turn to
dead.
ash. No, I know, but
the real Wonder Woman is dead.
yeah, but that's like right now we're fighting against the Flash's version of Brainiac, or like Brainiac basically possessing the body or a clone of the Flash.
Yeah.
So theoretically,
I'm
maybe
not
we get a Wonder
sure.
Woman type thing. I don't know.
It makes me definitely wonder because if there's going to be 13 variants, there's going to be more combinations of villains that they're going to introduce. So we'll see. I mean, it's not like we ever fought Wonder Woman, so we don't know what
What
her
it would be
fight
like? Yeah.
like if there is going to be one.
But that'd be kind of interesting seeing actually like brand new content. Because right now I think they're just repackaging things, which is fine. But like I don't know if it's as compelling as what people want from all the other stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Also, so we break down Flash's shield, and then we have to find Flash somewhere, and then shoot him with the buff.
And then we just have to shoot at any instance of Flash.
Okay. Do you mean like break his
Countershot him
shield?
and then,
So we break his
so
shield,
it's
and that's
when
it?
the meter's on screen. So right now we're in between.
1 moment, Task Force X. And this body will be
But once we get his shield, there we go.
Yeah,
So we currently have the bar. As long as we have that bar active, we can do damage to the boss once he's not in his shield, obviously.
Mhm.
So it's like the original Flash fight.
Yeah, I just don't remember that
Kinda.
Flash fight. Right? So I'm like, I know. So I see him basically have the weird you counter button, and then when you counter him, I see that we get a buff. But then I don't know if I just keep hitting the counter, like the countered flashes, or do I shoot the real flash with my buff that I now have? You know, I don't know.
Once you have the buff, you use your regular shots.
Okay, and then you shoot the normal version of him.
Yep.
Got it. That makes okay. That's what I was kind of wondering.
It's definitely a
Time
finicky
consuming.
gimmick.
Yeah.
Especially as Shark, which I've now done this fight as Shark 3 times. And he's not easy
Yeah, I was about to say.
do this fight with.
I'm trying to use my sniper because
Not
I feel like it's
he's a
pretty
close
good.
quarters character on a boss that does not like to stay close.
Yeah, that's not good. That sounds terrible.
If you just stood still. Let me reintroduce you to some
And that grenade does a lot of damage.
Metropolis. Careful now.
You only get one of them, but it counts. I'd
I
want.
got essentially the new grenade.
That's what you got?
No, that's what you
Oh
have.
yeah. That's what I thought mine was. Something like that, where you get
Okay.
one.
I think mine is the Black Muse grenade, which doesn't do damage normally. Yeah. Normal grenades will make enemies float in the air and take extra damage from other sources, and then also become a target for crazed enemies.
Extermination protocol.
Oh, I'm getting locked on by some weird thing. Oh,
On my
Yep. Oh, I
There's
got
a-
him almost last third.
Now be done.
that's good.
Oh, we got the vehicles now.
I was about to say, do you want to take the vehicle? I'm not sure if I'll do right stuff
There's
by
a
it.
few,
Oh, there is? Okay.
although I haven't countered him, so I can't do any damage with the vehicle. Now I can.
I just want to get some of the enemies off me. Oh,
It's gonna blow. Get out.
okay, man. I've had this whole boss fight where I'm low health. Ooh,
Not getting a deposit back on that one.
come on, let me. He's doing his bullshit. Ah.
You ain't even
And there's so much on screen.
whooping who called me mediocre this week.
Harley's popping off.
Yeah, I feel like they need to make the boss a little less difficult to see.
Yeah. I just feel like there's so much stuff going on where I can't even like enjoy the mechanics of anything. Oh,
Had a much easier time seeing bosses in Anthem.
yeah, dude. Deep cut with Anthem, man.
I mean, it's what people are comparing this to.
Really?
Anthem with superheroes.
I guess the movement was pretty good in Anthem. I don't know, man. I think Anthem is a special beast.
I think it's more just
Yeah.
with them being third-person shooter, live action or live service.
I guess, yeah. Although I don't even know if Anthem ever really got to have the library service tag on it. You know, like I don't think they ever really updated the game.
Yeah, it was going to be. It just never had the chance.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I'm getting lit up by every goddamn thing.
I missed that game. It was better than it. It deserved better.
Yeah. I think again, to me, it sucks because like I would love that type of game done well. Like the idea that you're piloting actual giant javelins, mechs, etc. That's amazing. But just
I
the
just love being a storm. That thing was so much fun.
oh yeah, the like the mage. It like it was like the best version of the warlock. Oh, you felt so bad. You were like hovering there. You could like summon forth a bunch of shit. Oh, I would say the one thing I remember very badly about Anthem though is that the bosses had so much health. I just remember like whittling down the spider thing for like so often. It was brutal.
Which is where a comparison to this makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
We must escape with our quarry.
So this is the end of the game. Credits.
Yep.
Let me listen to this. Let's see.
Who says I
At least we could do it this time.
Squad 5. Tiny Brainiac 0.
Alright. That was pretty good.
Also, let me catch one chat. Superhero games. I played where Batman Arkham. Yeah, the Batman Arkham games are like just great games. So like, I don't even know if you need to be a superhero enjoyer to like really just enjoy like the physics, combat, the force.
Still in box. Slightly in. Let's sell him the toy man.
We cannot. I will devour him, remember? And then the pooping.
Come on, you already got to do the giant space shark thing. Let someone else have a turn.
Punch him in the nuts. Do it.
You straight up executed the damn Batman.
Oh, it's me.
And you got to say something cool before you killed Lantern. I'm thinking a plastic bag, some pawpaw ointment, then we insert Brain Man into...
No, man.
What the hell are you four doing now?
Where is Brainiac?
Relax, Lexi. Got him right where we...
He's dead.
He suffocated.
Is that what it was? That why he was like clinging to the wall?
I swear to God. The data spike only works on a live target. Perhaps I can modify it in time for the next alien invasion.
Or perhaps I should use it on one of them.
Harkness, what are you doing?
Well, how else are we gonna get through all the doors on the Skull ship?
I get such Voldemort vibes, man. Is that the big thing that Lex is actually the worst of them? The reason why it all happened?
Waller out.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
otherwise it's just that he recognized that that's the Lex from the other Earth.
Oh, is that why we killed that Lex's special guy, whatever his name is? Brainiac's Lex.
Well, there's the 13 Brainiacs that are all connected,
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is a weird dimensional thing. Got it.
and so it's like maybe we'll get an explanation, but depends on how well this game is able to do.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That's my curious. I wonder how long they'll let this cook, essentially.
We can only hope they fulfill the first year.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be almost smarter for them to like do the roadmap, but almost I don't know. Part of me thinks that you need to wait until there's like a moment in gaming where there's nothing really coming out, and then release a big update then, and then give people a reason to try this game because it's actually pretty good as far as the gameplay goes. You know.
I mean, as far as I know, we're getting season 1 sometime this following month, so sometime in March.
Yeah. So probably the slow drip feed that we've been seeing.
You
Yeah.
mean 12?
A
kill list. We can work with that.
I'm looking forward to season 2 though, because that seems to be the character that I would want to play the most.
The Joker?
No.
Oh.
Season 1 will be Joker.
Oh, Friesen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it'd be cool to see how they, because people are saying that it could be a woman, it could be a dude, it could be both. So I'm curious to see how that actually plays out.
Yep.
If you could have both, you know.
Oh, you guys!
I must say, shark in that mix is a lot, is a lot to handle. But ladies and gentlemen, we have beat Suicide Squad. I think is this post credit? I don't know. Fluff, tell me. Is there gonna be credits?
There will be a credits.
Sweet. That is.
I don't.
Why do they show us this? Arkham City, Arkham Asylum. I mean, what the fuck?
The credits just shows all the little scenes throughout the game.
Oh, is that was the thing? I didn't know the game started in Arkham City. I thought we were starting in like a underground base thing. I guess that makes sense.
After the tutorial thing, the characters were all in
Arkham?
the asylum.
Gotcha. I have
With
no memory.
Shark being transferred from Bell Rev or whatever it's called.
Sweet. Also, let me catch my chat. It was that boss fight was. I'll be honest. That boss fight felt like I didn't know what the hell most was happening. Maybe because my brain is starting to melt because we've been streaming for almost 4 hours or 3 hours. But yes, let me catch my chat. Lone says, I never played Prototype. It's available on PlayStation Store. I might buy the first. One day. Yeah. Man, I think the first Prototype is good, but I feel like Prototype 2, I think like refined the formula, but without like, basically let me put it this way. I don't think, if you play Prototype 1 and then play Prototype 2, I think Prototype 2 will feel a little it'll feel okay. Whereas I feel like if you just played Prototype 2, it'd feel amazing. Does that make sense? So like, if you played 1, it makes some things better when you go to 2, but it's still going to be the same gameplay you're going to kind of already experience a lot of, especially when you go and play number 2. But I feel like you may be better off playing 2, especially if it's an older game and you already have so many games to play. I feel like you may be better off just going to Portal 2 alone. Also, Rudy says, how mad is this, mate? I've come to this live from Fallout 4 videos 8 years ago. Damn, man. What do you call it? Them Fallout 4 videos, I was on the precipice of deleting because they are rough. they are brutal, man. That was before I knew lighting with cameras, so I looked terrible. I also didn't. I was learning how to cut my hair time. Brutal, just not great as far as appearance, and then also just the performance of it. I was just talking so much. I still talk so much, but still. Load says, I'm digging the whole voice chat makes stream just feel more engaging somehow. I also feel a little bad. I feel like sometimes I can't talk to you guys as much, but I do. I love it. Actually, it's crazy being able to talk to Red and Fluff. Although I think Red dipped out, but it is fantastic having like direct feedback. You're still here, Red? Okay, good. I wasn't sure if you were still there.
I've been trying to talk, damn.
Oh, sorry. I was about to say, Red. I can't. Your mic is pretty quiet. I actually turned up your mic all the way up to 90, and I still find it kind of hard to hear you a little bit. So I'm not trying to ignore you. I just can't hear you as clear.
Well, turn me up then.
I'm already maxed. I'm almost at 90. That's why I said it. Oh, 200%. Oh, I'm at 183, so I'm almost at max. So I'll max you out, 200%. There we go. Now we're maxed.
Probably something on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, and the game's loud. Credits, audio is blasting.
Do I sound louder now?
You sound more. Oh yeah, I also turned you up, so that helped a good bit too, like all the way. It won't let me skip the goddamn quest. Oh, it's because it's voted. I see.
Oh, hold on, yeah.
What was I think so too. F to pay respects. Lone says.
This is Lois Lane.
Oh.
From all reports, it seems that Batman is gone. As Batman and as Bruce Wayne, everyone knew him. Everyone knew his voice. Always prepared, he left a communication with the Daily Planet in the event of, well, it reads, When I put on the cowl, I became a symbol. But I never stopped being Bruce Wayne, citizen of Gotham. Remember that we are all handed adversity in our lives. No one's journey is easy. It's how we handle that, how we help others, that makes us unique. That's what the Batman will always stand for. Metropolis will get through this. And Batman, goodbye.
I feel like a city. I thought Batman was always a symbol of justice. Now they're changing that. I like the new one, but still, that's sweet. That's a very sweet ending. I like that. It just feels weird again. I really hope they do the whole like season 2 Batman's back thing. That would make this good, but sweet.
There's a hidden message saying he's gonna come back.
Oh, okay. Well, so what is that? What does the message imply? Does it imply that like Fluff, or does it imply that that like Batman, this is not our dimension's Batman, or?
All it says was there's a scattering of calendars, each with certain numbers circled on each calendar, which is a cipher that just plainly says he will return.
I see. Batman will return. Okay. Huh.
And it has little Batman emblems. So
I hope
we'll see.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hope it means what we hope it means. Like, I hope it's good. Oh, what's this?
It's very possible that he recorded more lines for the live service well before this game was finished.
That would make sense.
Obviously, they won't be able to get him for more than that.
Why did he pass away?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sadly
Shit.
passed.
Oh, I didn't know that. Fuck.
That's what that added little video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Said thank you, Kevin, because it was Kevin Conroy.
Oh. Also, okay, that sounds amazing. Shield harvest kills now drop grenades, ammo, and debuff. That sounds amazing. I guess it's kills though. So how often do you? I know shield harvest. No, yeah, harvesting kills. That's quite a bit. I mean, no, maybe you can hit him with the thing, break his shield, and that would still count if you got a kill on that one. And we got non-affected grenades. This grenade does not do damage, but instead slows them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us wind down. Also, I don't think I read all the comments in the chat. Give me a sec. Lone says, I can't wait for season 1 of yeah. Well, you're gonna play. Oh, this is the roadmap. Fighting against Brainiac will continue in season 1. Yeah, Fluff shares with me. What is the last one?
Deathstroke.
Oh, right. Okay, and the second to last one. That one seems like a.
We don't have full confirmation, but people are thinking it's Deadshot's daughter from a different timeline.
Huh.
And she has like Brainiac tech as her traversal.
Yeah, I can see the Brainiac tech. I'll be curious to see what that looks like. Huh.
And then the second season is going to be Mr. or Mrs. Freeze.
Yeah, that one I think I'm the most excited. As much as I like Joker, I don't know. I feel like the Freeze one could be a little bit more interesting because I feel like Joker's always kind of gimmicky in a bad way, where like it's like, oh, I'm gonna, what do you call it? Throw like a clacking teeth on the ground, but that it's really hard to hit and stuff like that. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully he's a powerhouse because it kind of should be. He's like the iconic villain of all iconic villains.
They have shown off gameplay of him. He looks fun. The umbrella mechanic's interesting.
Is that his movement?
Because he can float with it, and then he can also like land on it and kind of skate around a little bit.
Huh. Okay.
And he's able to use, I think, pistol, shotguns, and assault rifles. So he'll be pretty enjoyable to use gun-wise.
Yeah, hopefully. Was it shotgun and something else, or?
The pistol, shotgun, and assault rifles is what he'll have.
That sounds great.
As his 3. So that makes it seem like maybe Freeze is going to have heavies, snipers, and SMGs, probably, but we'll see.
I was going to say, if Freeze doesn't have like the big machine gun, that's gonna, or like the chain gun, then that sounds it's weird, because he's such a beefy boy. You think he'd be able to hold that. Lone says, why those videos were... No, the follow-up videos were not good, Lone. They were not good. Faceless says... What is this? Oh, Finite Crisis.
So this is the end game loop right now for the first season.
So what is that? What is that?
This is pre-season. So this is...
Fluff must encounter something. Faces says, so far, Final Fantasy Rebirth looks good. Have you played it? I heard a lot of people popping off about it. A lot of people are like revving up to experience it. When is it coming out? It's already out, or are you guys getting ready? I feel like you guys are getting ready. Faceless says, this is the last game. Wait, what? What do you mean? Final? What do you mean? Raid says, "'Twas the pleasure to be here as always," says Raid. Hopefully we can play some Helldivers 2 eventually. It would be lovely having you get in there and play with us. Also, Crash says, Enshrouded is I got more, and Conan Exile meets Valheim. Yeah, that's what I feel like it could make sense. Enshrouded, the game that Fluff I think sent me a little bit of an RPG gameplay of. I've seen some gameplay of it, and it largely seemed like it was. I got like a Valheim Viking fantasy with kind of like the sprinkling of not Dark Souls, but like this type of vibe of like dodging, rolling, iframes, stuff like that. But not like the massive scale battles exactly, but just the idea of like, yeah, you got to roll, you have a melee. But yeah, mainly the what do you call it? Valheim really stuck out. Valheim and but the Fluff throughout the Fable thing had me wondering what aspect of Fable could it be like? Is it the morality? Probably not. Is it the clunky, goofy kind of characters and such? The kind of like the vibe.
It's
of the world?
mostly just kind of the overall gameplay feel.
Oh, okay.
And how like your melee combat, your range combat, and using things like wands. So instead of having pistols or anything like Fable 2, it feels more like the first Fable.
Okay.
But not in it. But it's still pretty fun.
Yeah.
How they've designed it. You can lock onto a target, and then kind of it changes the camera perspective that way.
Okay, yeah. But I didn't know there's wands. That's awesome to hear there's wands.
Yep.
Right.
With the skill tree, they have it where there's like tank, which is right next to the mage archetypes.
Yeah, I wonder what you're playing.
And the one immediately next to it is battle mage, which specializes with the wands. So I can be either a full-on warrior tank, or I can kind of be more of like a tank mage, and that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So I have a shield with either a one-handed melee weapon or a wand.
I was about to say, it's got to be tank something. You blow me out of the water if you if you said you were playing like a assassin or something like that. Totally off brand.
When it's medieval fantasy, I prefer
tank
frontline fighting.
Yeah. Oh, you mean? Sorry. I always thought you go tank, Fluff.
Yeah. So, well, like frontline fighters, so tanks or whatever else.
Oh, is that?
I like
okay.
close quarters melee.
Oh yeah, in fantasy games. You never fought with archery and stuff like that? Although archery sucks in most fantasy games, so.
It's only like if I need to use it. Like in Skyrim, if I was going to use a ranged weapon, would use a crossbow first.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Dawnguard, all that stuff.
Same for Dark Souls and shit.
Yeah, I guess. What about Elden Ring? Do you feel the same way about Elden Ring, Red?
If I'm not going to use a ranged weapon, I'd rather use a spell.
Yeah. Do you feel the same way in Elden Ring, Red? It's like in Elden Ring, you have so like you're saying you always play. It seemed like you agreed with Fluff when you were saying that, like, oh yeah, if it's like a fantasy game, I tend to play like the melee equivalent frontline fighter type of gameplay. Yes. So in a game like Elden Ring,
most games magic systems are just they don't feel as good
most
of the time.
I agree.
With some exceptions, like Kingdoms of Amalur was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, that was like cheating.
That's one thing I was going to say was, it's not identical because it's not the whole fate card system, but Enshrouded kind of has with its skill web, you can choose to kind of mix and match or specialize. So you can go full warrior, or you can go like warrior assassin, or you can go warrior mage,
hybridize
or mage assassin. And there's certain talents that are good universally, like getting the double jump you should get no matter what you play as. But then otherwise you can specialize to be like, I want to have friendly animals, I want to have better spell casting, I want to use a wand. And you can mix and match.
That makes sense. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Can you apply buffs to your weapons like fire?
Not quite, at least not in the current. They have like some talents that are like, use a melee weapon, you now do 10% more damage for a duration, or 20%, whatever it is, with any and all weapons. they have it where you can get food buffs, which will similar to Valheim, where it's like you eat meat to get more health, you drink water to have more stamina and stamina recovery, and you can mix and match armor sets that have different passive bonuses. So there's like a lot of the roguish type stuff is more stamina oriented, more oriented towards using like a bow. But you can have stamina regen in your boots, and then you can get like health regen in the pants, and then you can have higher armor in the chest, and then melee damage in your gloves,
like
and
a lot of
crit
depth.
damage in your helmet.
Yeah, it seems like
there's a lot of cool
bit
stuff.
depth, yeah.
And then there's a lot of like armor sets you can find in random chests. There'll be randomized loot. And then if you find they're level based off of your location. So it's like if you go to a certain location, this will now be the level 18 gear, or this is the level 25 gear, whatever it is. And so when you get that gear, some of them have like special set themes to them, where one of the sets I want to get, there's like a level 23 or something set that I want to get because it's kind of the tank mage playstyle. It's a mix of battle mage and tanking. Sadly, the current level cap of 25 has like only 3 armor sets, and they're really good. They also look good where you can mix and match them together, but they're more specialized. So it's like, okay, this is back to being, this is just warrior, this is just mage, this is just rogue, and then you just mix and match the part. There might be, but for now it seems like if you get the top tier gear, it looks good together. You can mix and match it just fine, but it's not as specialized as some of the other interesting
it kind of reverts back to like having a solid playstyle like a mage instead of having a hybridization, which maybe balances out because you can get a lot of value out of having multiple different types of solutions if you're hybridized, I guess.
Yep. And at the moment, it's really easy to respec. It's like 10 runes, which is the currency you get, and you just dismantle one weapon and you have like 20 runes already.
Nice. Wow.
So it's super cheap to respec right now.
That's good. I always hate when there's a massive thing for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was awesome. I can't even believe this, man. It's always like a bit of hesitation, at least for me, because I've read you guys' messages for so many years. Like I have a person you built up in my head. So when I hear someone's voice, you're kind of like, do I want to take away the kind of mysticism, the kind of weird like idea, which is a cool idea. It's like a positive idea. But then to hear you guys' voice is also a really interesting thing. So it's not like it's a negative, which I was starting to think, maybe I shouldn't jump in here because I don't want to lose that idea that I have in my head of you guys. But this has only improved that idea, I should say. So I don't think it was a bad time at all.
More authentic.
Yeah. I can actually, like, when you speak, I can hear your voice instead of hear my idea of your voice, which is great. But yeah, I will say I do think we'll kind of oscillate. I did have fun here. I think we'll do it again, especially for certain games that are like really co-op heavy. It could be fun having this kind of like podcasty kind of, felt more like a podcast to me, like hearing people just go back and forth, having everyone's opinion jump around. I wish I could hear Red a little more so I could have punched in and asked Red some questions and made sure everyone is being fully heard and all these things. But
I'll see if I can help him figure out the audio.
Yeah. But then I also think we'll continue to play games also where because again, as much as I'm happy to see so many people really enjoyed this stream as well. I also do find myself wanting to like completely go into chat and ask like what's going on with Faceless, and not that I can't do that, but just that it's hard for me to break out of the conversation because I am locked into like hearing what Fluff thinks about things and hearing what Red thinks about things, and that's where my kind of mind is. That and when it comes to playing as well was a lot easier because it's just you're having to focus on that rather than like reading, shooting, and the whole shebang. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to play the game for you guys tomorrow. It's a weird VR game. I wanted to play Power World, but I wanted to get back into the VR stuff. Also, I don't think I'll have enough time to make the thumbnail for today's video. So there'll be a video tomorrow on the Mind Palace of Madness video, which is a kind of it's a really cool thing that could be very meaningful for the future of VR. it's basically like a really compelling engine. But I want to talk to you guys about that tomorrow. Hopefully you guys check out that video. It's not kind of the normal traditional like modding videos. If you're happen to not like mods, you may not like that video. This is more of a general topic of VR, which I think most people can engage with. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much, Red. Thank you so much, Fluff, for carrying me and talking to me and explaining things to me. Much love as always. Thank you, Lone, for playing with us, and also getting into Helldivers, even though it may not be your exact cup of tea. Hopefully, we can continue to play and we can keep getting you higher levels. And then when you start having a bunch of stratagems, you kind of unlock the itch that makes that game, at least to me, really fun. And things like, thank you so much, Faceless. Thank you so much, Raid. Thanks so much, Bolty, for everyone being here. Appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully I can see you guys again. Red and Fluff, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Yeah, take care.
Bye, guys.